We're endorsing the Lion's voice. Big up Rasquasi. See?
Big up Rasquasi.
It is time for the Lion to tell our own story. Yes, sir.
There is a land far, far away. There's no night. There's only day. Look into the book of life. And you will see that there's a land far, far away. Rasquasi! That there's a land far, far away. Speak, lion. Speak, lion. Roar, lion. Roar. Every time.
I will never stop, hail the Most High. And I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, ya. Them fully guard up and them quick fi execute, ya. Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, ya. The one will laugh, I'm same one of the shooter. Watching them, this is Rasta Jai representing for the Lion Voice Network. This is the time when the lion gets to tell our own story. Haile Selassie.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it's Exodus. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
Yes, job people, this is Michael Shemai representing. I will say, hear the Lion Voice, saying it is time for the lions and the lionesses to tell their own story. King David killed Goliath with a stone, we original dread.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice. Them could never conquer the mountains. Thousands of years and counting. Ethiopia rise again and to the world. Now we are announcing. Them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. When the trumpet sound and the violence cease, how we say one go build up the cities. Well, them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. Rastafari crown as the Prince of Peace. Him tell the youths them fi build up them countries. Well, from to us a son was born and a child was given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called the Wonderful Counselor, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Them call him Christopher when he was born, rain fall from sky. Them call him Christopher when he was grown in airplanes he fly. They call him Christopher lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Them call him Christopher read the Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Then, born near the city of Harar, the inspiration for Bob Marley's guitar. people crowd him like some big superstar. It no matter if England or Cote d'Ivoire, no matter if you're brown or black like Qatar. Haile Selassie say fi end all tribal war. A time fi gather Mount Zion, fi drive solar car from the car straight to Zanzibar. Who we are, the sons of Mr. Rai. When he was born, rain fall from the sky. Mr. Rai, when he was grown in airplanes, he fly. Mr. Rai, the lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Mr. Rai, we do everything.
iRoots Records, an online shop for reggae and dub vinyl, CDs and Rastafari books. Rastafari owned and operated for over 15 years. We ship worldwide. We have many titles from Frontline Publications in stock. We have 50 plus Akabeka Midnight titles, which we believe is the most of any shop in the world. Special invite for the Lion Pride. Use code Lion's Voice and save 10% store-wide. If you spend $125 or more, the discount goes up to 15%. Visit us online at www.irootsrecords.com. The time has come.
Orlando, Central Florida, are you ready? The African Culture School Incorporated and Heights of Life Music proudly presents the 4th annual Marcus Garvey Music Fest, Saturday, August 15th at Ras State in Claremont, Florida, featuring Lutan Fire, backed by Rhythm Rebel Band. Also performing live, Andy Heights, Ainike, Esau, One Journey, Javerse, Royal Chanter, Asafa Widimaya, and many more incredible artists. Vibes provided by Unity Sound, Rastek, Royal Ethiopian Sound, Jawise, and Blackfoot Movements. Hosted by Davani, but it's more than just music. Enjoy Community Entrepreneur Awards, Organic Seed Exchange, live art installation and auction, back to school giveaways, free health screenings. Come celebrate the legacy and vision of the Honorable Marcus Zaya Garvey. Saturday, August 15th, sponsored by Branding 101, One Trust Home Loans, and Cypress Cove Marina and Resort.
In the haunting echoes of violence against women in St. Anne, Jamaica, a mysterious vigilante emerges. For the Woman Painted Purple unfurls a gripping narrative of empowerment, retribution, and the pursuit of justice. Brenda and her group sisters bond together in therapy over their common struggles, but soon their group becomes the subject of an investigation. As the vigilante's actions escalate, the relentless detective, Officer Woodley, races to unmask the mystifying figure. For the Woman Painted Purple is a pulse-pounding tale that explores the boundaries of justice, revenge, and the fighting spirit. This thrilling saga delves into the complexities of dealing with mental health, domestic abuse, and finding love after. Own your copy today. Visit www.devonigreen.com.
This is The Black Heart Man, Rastafari children's picture book, with hand-painted illustrations and rhythmic storytelling. This is a journey you do not want to miss. We offer worldwide shipping, so order your copy today at www.degreerspaintbrush.com. Alternatively, you can order your copy from TikTok. If you are interested in stocking the book, please email us at degreerspaintbrush@gmail.com. Give thanks.
Jamaica to Toronto. The Rastafest movement rises again. This August 15 and 16, Rastafest 2026 returns to Little Jamaica in Toronto with reggae music, Rastafari culture, Ital food, arts, reasoning, and unity. But this year, it's more than a festival. Rastafest is partnering with the Rastafari Mansions and organizations to support the Relief, Rebuild, Rise initiative, helping Rastafari families and communities rebuild, resist the risk of disasters, and to rise to their true potential. This is culture with a cause. Full joy the music, support the mission. Donate to the Relief, Rebuild, Rise GoFundMe through the link in the RMO Jamaica Instagram profile. Rastafari.
Save the date. Join us on Sunday, August 9th, 2026 at 5 p.m. for the 25th annual fundraiser for the Shashamani Foundation. at the Silver Spring Civic Center, Great Buffalo Hall in Silver Spring, Maryland. Come be a part of an evening that helps transform lives by supporting quality education and sustainable development at the JRDC School in Shashamane, Ethiopia. Your presence and generosity help empower children, strengthen communities, and build a brighter future. Can't attend? You can still make a difference by donating at shashamane.org or by scanning the event QR code. Mark your calendar, bring your family and friends, and let's build a lasting legacy together. We'll see you there. Rastafari TV and Type Media are proud sponsors of the Shashamane Foundation.
Greetings in the divine name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of his chosen queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka the Chasmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man. Creative industry attorney, I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Voice Live, or Lion Voice Rise if you're in the East Coast or Western Hemisphere. Early morning sip, sabbatical sip. We do give thanks afternoon for our UK family and our Africa family, afternoon settings. But we give thanks, the global family gathers once again for this joyful uprising that's happening. Gideon, global instability, technology, artificial intelligence, but still Haile Selassie I the first stand predominant. What a joy for no say, I and I still treading true. It's Pan-African History Month on the channel, so we have a major schedule that we're building, putting together as we speak. We'll announce some of the names that we will be bringing forward, some Pan-African giants. This Wednesday we have Duran Davis, who is one of the premier, we would say, African-American brethren who are championing food sovereignty, black food sovereignty in America, reclaiming land, growing economics through food. And we're going to interview the brethren. He has one of the biggest festivals in Virginia, Happily Natural Festival. They celebrate everything Afrocentric, beautiful agriculture, natural hair, natural living. We're going to be interviewing him. It's a big deal to have these brethren on the platform, but we are the global Rastafari media. So, we are asserting our place in our larger Pan-African family. And it's only possible because the IDEM support the platform. So when I reach out, or when ones come across the platform, they see that this is not a joke. We're about to hit 80,000 subscribers through the divine power of His Majesty. And I want to just give thanks. We have the greatest live chat on the planet Earth. Remember me tell you, the greatest live chat. When you come, you're going to be educated, you're going to be inspired, family meeting, gathering, manners, but fire in there too, little jokes in there too. We mix it up, so big up all of the Lion Pride in the comment section. Big up yourself, Tommy Dread, Kun Fire Life, big up yourself, all of the comment family, Patreon family. I see Malawi checking in. Blessings to the Malawi family. We are building family. That is the most important thing. The unity is real. It's not manufactured. It's Nyabingi. It's 12 tribe. It's Bobo Shanti. We have EWF. We have Orthodox. We have our Pan-African brethren and sistren. This is what Rastafari look like, if you're wondering. This is what it looks like, you know what I mean? Check His Majesty. Check the vibration of the young Lich Tafari, check the Chazmach Tafedi, check Rasta Fedi, check Negos Tafedi, check Negosa Nagas, the same man, you know what I mean? Same vibration, Pan-African, positive, unity, you know what I mean? So we do give thanks. I see Trinidad checking in. Let us know where you're watching from, family. And I have to give a special recognition to my sister from Trinidad, Medina, Simple Island Life. The sister dropped a comment because we had taken a couple of Saturdays off, and she said, Brass, we missed the Saturday vibration. What happened to the Saturday vibration? And so I want to big up the Medina Simple Island Life Trinidad family for that inspiration. And it just goes to show what word, sound, and power can do when you call a brethren or a sister with an encouraging word. You know what I mean? What that can do, it can alter the course of history. That positive, just that positive sound. And that's what I want us, because we're programmed to be negative. We're programmed to be critical and be critics of people who are doing work. You know what I mean? We're programmed, and I just want us to know the power of the positive sound. I want us to meditate on that, on this sabbatical vibration, because we need it. I mean, the Babylon system is literally crumbling around us. The price of living getting harder. The money's worth less. We need that power of that positive sound. So family, big up yourself. If you're contributing, we are the light, we are the power, we are the children, you know, of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. All right, so today we have a very special episode. We have the president of the local 14 in Shashamane, Ethiopia. For all of Ethiopia, EWF, we're going to go into what's happening, some of the realities on the ground. I'm very much looking forward to this reasoning. You know, the sister right now is in the UK, but she lives in Ethiopia. A mama, grandmother, you know what I mean? We are just very blessed to have her here this morning. So we're excited. Before we bring forward the sister, I want to just acknowledge, you know what I mean, the family, the sponsors, Frontline Books, big up yourself, Ras Sekou, Tafari. We're going to be bringing forward, trying to put together another panel, a part 2 for the South Africa panel. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be exploring that whole vibration, the xenophobia in South Africa. We're not leaving it alone. We're going to be talking about some of the other things. So, you know, stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to the platform yet, this is it. This is where the family is gathering in positivity. And big up all of our other Rastafari independent, non-aligned media family them. iYard Radio, we have partnered to start bringing Jerry Small once a month on the platform. So stay tuned this month. We're going to have Bongo Jerry come and talk about Sam Sharp, Paul Bogle, you know. We're going to go in depth in that history of those two freedom fighters and what we can learn, both what they did right and also the mistakes that they made, you know, and the true history, how the whole relationship with the Maroons them did go. We're going to go into that vibration. So stay tuned for that. I also want to just talk about the Marcus Day, Garvey Day festival in Atlanta. Big up Ras Marvin. We're going to have Ras Marvin on. He's one of the leading Ras in Atlanta. Put together a whole website full of contacts in terms of black business, you know what I mean? So we're going to talk to him about some of those works. This is the 18th annual Marcus Garvey Day Festival. These are some of the local artists. It's free, open to the public. So if you're in Atlanta, any of our Atlanta family surrounding environs in the United States, go and support. As you know, this is Pan-African History Month on the channel. We're supporting all things. We have the Marcus Garvey Festival coming up in Orlando as well. And I love, because you see, these are all brands that are emerging to support our culture. You know what I mean? Our journey. We're turning it into an economy. And this is one of the things that we're talking about here, is the economy of righteousness. Wickedness have its own economy and an economic factor. Righteousness has to be economically sustainable and viable as well. So all of these brands that we bring here on the Lion Voice Network to the eye, these are emerging brands. They need support. So no matter where you are, I always am going to ask the item, are you feeding the ecosystem, the global ecosystem? Are you paying your money? Are you taking the money that you're earning out there and cycling it into the reality that you want to see? Because the reality that we want to see has to be funded. It has to be funded, and there's no one going to fund it but I and I. Because no one cares about it than I and I. So if it's I and I that care, why are we sitting and waiting for somebody else to fund it, or to have a good heart and feel like they want to repair the damage that they themselves have done? We not go wait upon that, you know what I mean? It's our responsibility to come together and to fund our uprising. So if you love Rastafari independent non-aligned media, support the platform. You don't like this platform, find another platform to support. We're fine with that, you know. I am the champion of agree to disagree. If you war with you have a one-sided war, because I don't have time for that. You know what I mean? So it's fine, you know what I mean? But do something, because when you come and you done burn up the fire about what you don't like that I'm doing, you know, it's my turn for black, and I ask you, what are you doing? And you don't have nothing for show collectively. It has a look away, you know what I mean? So do what you're doing over there, and we do what we do with like-minded individuals, and maybe one day circumstances mean that we come together on something that we do agree on, and we give the glory to the Most High, and we move forward. So we don't want no excuse right now, family. We want I and I to just think positive, do the work, but we have to fund our uprising. So buy from Frontline Books, buy from the Grills Paintbrush. You see the nice children's book. Do you have a children's book, Rastafari? Do you have a grandchild? Do you have so, you know what I mean? Buy the book. Sister Devani Green have a novel. Buy the novel. You know what I mean? We have to be thinking about supporting the people within our own ecosystem. We're going to be providing that platform for our businesses to advertise. So it all feeds itself. The ecosystem that we're building here, everything feeds itself. People pay to advertise here. As the channel gets bigger, we have more audience for them from the people that they are looking for that type of products. And before you know, we have created our own economy of righteousness. So don't just be a passive Lion Pride member. If you're, and I'm just talking to the Lion Pride, you know, 80,000 strong soon. If we just talk to the Lion Pride, let us be proactive. Let us be spending money, putting our money into the system. My dream is that 50,000 of the item would give $10 to one of my guests, or all of the guests, because we could do it. You know, that would be maybe $20 a strong. And they wake up and they call I and say, the Chas Match, I have 500,000 US in my bank account. because of the interview, the reasoning that we had. Now I can fund my project for the next 2 years. This is how we have to be thinking as a collective. This is what I envision for the Lion Pride. So rise and shine. This morning we're going to Ethiopia. We're going to dive deep. Give a warm welcome to our guest. She is Empress Jasmin. She is the president of Local 14 Ethiopia, EWF. She is an ambassador dealing with the African diaspora. We'll find out about those works as well. But family, just give a warm Land Pride welcome to Royal Queen Empress Jasmin. Royal blessings, Empress Jasmin.
Blessings, Rastafari.
Isis. So this is a joy. We've been reasoning. I'm so excited about this reasoning, but we can't skip nothing. You know what I mean? We have to invite you to the tradition of this platform, which is to step into the Lion Voice time machine and to take us to the moment of your birth, where you were born, how you grew up, paint the picture, because when the story is told of Empress Jasmin, we want to hear it straight from the lioness. Take us to your birth and your journey to Rastafari or to EWF consciousness.
Blessed Rastafari, blessed around the world, Lion Talk. I was born in Jamaica, Manchester, on Craighead, which is in Craighead, which is in Manchester. I went to Craighead School. Craighead is more or less by Carter on the border with Alside. And I left Jamaica when I was 10 years old, 1968, and went to join my parents in England. In England, I went 1 year in primary school, then secondary school, college, nursing, and then I'm also the community worker in my town. As a young Ras, I was in the Black Power movement when I was like 15, 16 years old, our Afro bell bottoms turn up and so on. From there now into Rastafari, and stop there from Rastafari, because both was teaching me culture, who I am, identity, and to separate myself from the others in society that was not like me, which I did. And
What year are we talking about now? Just to give
we're
us a
talking
time.
about early 70s.
Okay,
We're talking about 70s, yeah.
So
I
what
left
was it
school.
like in that time? How were they treating you coming from Jamaica to the UK? What was the reception?
Well, I spent about a year in the primary school in England, and in the town that I went into, which is a place called Ipswich, which is where I am this minute. And the children in the school, believe it or not, they used to be touching and licking your face. They actually thought that we were chocolate and they could eat us. And this was in 1968. So it was one of the funniest things. And even your friends, because I had never seen Chinaman in the shop, but I had never seen the other nations in Jamaica as a child. Now I was seeing everyone. And in that period of time, 68, a lot was coming in. So the what you call the Windrush today, they were coming in from Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, they're coming from all over the world and joining. So we all automatically link within the school system. Whether we're from Barbados, Antigua, the new one comes in, they came in, and we kind of moved together and most of us went to college as well together. Then eventually, it's more once I finished college, and now into Rastafari now, a different realm that we all separated into different areas. So you no longer had the same friends. You found more brethren and sister that was more into Haile Selassie, Africa, and so on. So you are now in a different realm of crew that linked with your thoughts and where you want to go and so on, you know. You change directions accordingly. And we all move together, our own dances, our own part. Nobody wanted to mix with us anyway. They would
Okay.
use them old things, you know, that you'd hear, or the rest of them smell and them have fatty leg in it, just like Jamaica. They were using that
Yes.
on us in England. But we didn't care because we knew that we were clean people, you know,
Yes.
cleanliness is godliness. We had from there, I think it's about 79, 1978, 79. By now I'm married with children.
Okay.
And
Oh, hold on. We have to bubble the pot in. I know you want to jump forward, but we have to bubble the sip so that when we go into the repatriation, you know, it has context, you know, and we can see the layered approach. But
okay.
what attracted the eye from Black Power to, because obviously you're being racially harassed in the UK.
Yes.
You're new, so you're gonna be race conscious. Black power naturally, but it's a leap going from black power to Rastafari because you know there's that divinity aspect. What was that journey like for the eye?
That journey was like when I cut my hair very, very short. My mother came down on me for it. And then I did, you know, I used to have these sprays that I would put in my afro. But I didn't this time. I actually bleached that spot. And my
Okay.
mother came down on us for it. We all had a story. We said it was an experiment at college. But being that move, there was a time when it seems like, say, people were getting hurt within the Black Power movement, you know,
Okay.
people was getting hurt and they were trying. I didn't realize at the time, it's years later that I realized they were trying to break us apart by having other groups. So, like, my brother had joined this group called Young Socialists, you know,
Okay.
some young political timer group, which was not for me. So it was more that I found other people now, not necessarily those that I was in school with either. And we were doing different things. I think what it was, we were all from Jamaica, was the first thing. We were all from Jamaica, and I was twisting. I was twisting my locks, and then my other friends, I used to plait their hair and retwist, twisting. So we're hearing about the locks, you know. We're hearing about the locks. So we're locksing by plaiting, retwisting, a little crew of us. And I think that little crew might have been about 10, around 10 of us, mostly from the islands. And we started to meet up together, having what we call reasonings, you know,
Okay.
these reasonings where we'd sit down together, reason a point, and what is Rastafari, argue, you know, when I say reason, we had little arguments about it at times, but it was the part of the reasoning, smoke with thing, and, you know, we would say
Yes.
Tuesday and Thursday we're reasoning until we became such a blend that it was a natural thing for us to be going places together. We were no
Yes.
longer going to the nightclubs or the other people's parties. We were doing our own. By now we've got Bappa is built up sound system. Even I
Yes.
am doing promotions. So we started
Okay.
to do our own thing in our own space and our own venue, mostly houses, you know, mostly
Yes.
houses. So
Yes.
we would
Yes.
run blues and shubbing. You had Bappa sound system. So I even started JJ promotions because I am a 12
Okay.
tribe of Israel originally
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
joined. That's one of the first thing that we noticed. I was we were invited during the promotions. I run JJ Promotions, which is Jasmine Joseph Promotions,
Okay.
and had this sound system that came from London to Ipswich. You know, they came to play in
Okay.
Ipswich, and told us about this meeting that
Yes.
was going to be in London, you know, and it seemed, just the words of it seemed so fascinating. By the next
Yes.
Sunday, we had minibus cars ready to go. So
Okay.
we had about 6 cars of Rasses going because we've grown,
Yes.
and it was actually a 12 Tribes of Israel meeting. You
Okay.
know, telling you how to join. It was packed in a house, and that first evening, I got to sit down in the bathroom, and I had 2 small children. Sat down in the bathroom, heard it, so I figured, right, the next week I'm going early so I can see what is happening in the main room. And I live
Okay.
like 2 hours from London, so I did
Okay.
exactly that. We got up, prepared food, and packed lunch, and left out early so that the next day address, we were there early and we were in the front room to see the 12 Tribes of Israel London's 12 were being gathered, because they were calling for Brother Levi and so
Yes.
on.
Yes. Yes.
And that was in 1979.
Wow.
Um, 1979, my youngest son was actually born 82, so he was born in the house. He was born in the
Okay.
organization. So now with my Back to Africa, now I'm hearing a name.
Yes.
Shashamani. Yeah, so
Wow.
it was no longer just that I'm going to Africa. I'm now hearing the name Shashamani, but I needed to see it. And I mean, with the 12 Tribes of Israel, we had sent a lot of the executives out
Yes.
to go
Yes.
and
Yes.
visit and come back. So they went to
Yes.
view, they came back, and they told us, they gave us the confidence before they brought back story that you could relate to.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes. Stick a
1992,
pin, stick a pin, because as you're talking, I'm saying we need a proper documentary on Rastafari on the UK one, because the stories I'm hearing, the size of the community there, and we need to really study what happened and why it's not like that today. Um,
yeah,
because there was so much of the item. Everyone I talk to from the UK, I'm visualizing and I'm saying, wow, really, Rastafari really hit UK heavy. What do you think happened?
I don't know. But it's a good question to investigate because, in my little town here, we had 2 minibus that we purchased ourselves as
That's what I'm
young
talking
rascals,
about.
and
Yes,
plus cars. And now, if I go out there today, I'm visiting, if I go out there today, there are a handful of them at the park celebrating the Jamaica independence. But as for gathering and Africa, when they see me, they're like, oh, are you still in Ethiopia? Are you still with the 12 tribes? Like it was a fashion that should have gone out. That,
yes,
they're not understanding that it's a continuous thing and it's supposed to lead us somewhere, for
yes,
the benefit of our children, the safety of our children. They're not realizing it. Then I think that saying, um, I mentioned it yesterday, when our parents says, don't follow fashion. I think
yes,
I always keep bringing it up, because we thought that it meant clothes, but what it really means is do not pick up the ways of the people you live amongst. So you might enter a country and you don't like white flour, or you
yes,
don't like something, but because your friends or company is eating it, you think that it's okay, they eat it, but it
yes.
affects you different to how it affects them. So a lot of people have just changed, locked their minds away from the reality of what is going on around them, the reality of what is to come, and just
Uh,
decided to leave it at that. If it
uh,
happens, it happens, which is really sad because our children and children's children. And these kind of things break down relationships as well, you know. So that's so you caught me from where I was.
yes, sorry,
So
sorry,
basically,
return. Yes, go ahead.
yeah. So basically I joined the 12 Tribe of Israel along with myself and my 2 children and my husband at the time. And from then on, keep going. Meetings, was every Sunday.
Was your
So
husband Rastafari?
he had dreadlocks. I think he locks because I did, because I had locks.
Okay.
He locked. So I think he's just follow what I
Yes.
did to a stage, and then,
Yes. Yes.
he stepped away. Um,
Okay.
but he's still the father of my children.
Of
And
course.
so that's how it goes. Then now, 1992, when my youngest son was 10 years old, at the height of the word famine, I decided that I'm going to go and see Shashamani. So myself and my younger son, we booked flight, we went and saw Shashamani. My son did not want to go back to England. That made me happy. The Game Boy never left the suitcase. He played with catapult, gig, and anything that meant that he could slat a chicken's neck with a piece of string. He never touched any of his electronic things that was in the suitcase, and did not want to go back to England. And
Wow.
that really fascinated me. He did not want to go back. Another sister of mine, Sister Gad, she was there with her two daughters. Her two daughters did not want to go back. They were my one was telling me he will find someone for him to stay with. The girls were telling Bookie that when you go back, just bring our bikes. When you're coming, bring our bikes. They were determined that they were going to stay, these little children. But,
Yeah.
if I didn't know or I didn't care, I might have left him. I'm glad that I didn't. You understand? I'm glad that I didn't, because I remember the days that my mother had left me in Jamaica, and
Yes.
the treatment that we
Yes.
had. People get fed up of other people's children, but
Yes.
they are more interested in the parcel or the barrels, and the money that's coming. So
Yes.
your
Yes.
child can be abused. I don't want to cut, but I can tell a little story that the woman that my mother left us with, she had a
Yes.
child. After my mother had left, she had a
Yes.
child, and she named that child the same name as my brother.
Okay.
But the last name is the same. So she gave her child the same name as my brother. So I felt that, she had the intention of sending her son to England and not my brother. And I think other people
Okay.
felt that too. So others put together to make sure my brother traveled with me and my sister when it came to time to go.
Yes.
But
Yes.
so we
Yeah.
went off to Ethiopia. My main point, my main reasons for going to Ethiopia at that time was actually to find school for my children and to open a bank account. So I achieved that in 1992. I went in. It was not easy to open the bank account in Shashamani, so I was able to open in Addis Ababa in Arat Kilo. I opened my bank account. I found a school that spoke the English and. So the Seventh Day Adventist school in Quera, they spoke English and America. There wasn't so much Aromifa as I noticed at the time,
Yes.
but they had both languages. So I was able to do that, open the account, check out the school, write down what they did at the school, did my little list of all the things that I needed to do when I reached back to England. And then 7 years later, I went back. But I was able to work for the next 7 years and with a meaning. I was able to work. If I earned X amount, part of it went into my account in Ethiopia, it transferred to Ethiopia. That way I
Yeah.
couldn't spend it again. It's gone, you know. And through faith as well, faith was a serious part because I couldn't see, I didn't have no bank statements. Imagine for 7 years, I'm sending money to an account, but I don't have no bank statement to show me how much is in the account. Is the money going into the account? But it's bank to bank. So,
Yes.
but when I did arrive in November 2000 to settle, my account was intact. That meant
Okay.
that I could actually rent a property while I was looking for land to build my home. I
Yes.
rented a property. That means I could pay 1 year's rent. One of the
Yes.
things, when you don't know where your next funds are coming from, you need to be prepared. So
Yes.
I was able to pay. I rented from a doctor, and I did the contract myself, and
Okay.
I paid him 1 year's rent in advance. He was so happy that he had all that money in his hand that he
Yes.
built a wall around the compound. He built a little shop in front for me as well. I didn't realize he
Okay.
had built it for me. I thought it was the guard's house. Then I learned that he had built it for me because I do catering. At the time, I was a
Okay.
catering and hygiene trainer. And
Okay.
in the meantime, discreetly finding a piece of land and, property and started building. So it is not, I will step into that situation of repatriation. It's a
Yes.
preparation thing. To be honest, I knew of the Ethiopian World Federation in Ethiopia. While I was
Okay.
in England, the only Rasta organization I knew was the 12 Tribe of Israel. We
Okay.
ourselves in our town, as young Rastis in our town, and we joined the 12 Tribes of Israel. And that was what we know. It's when I arrived in 2000 in Ethiopia that I started to learn more about the Ethiopian World Federation.
Okay.
Not to say that I did not know members, but did
Yes.
not know that they were members.
That
Because
they
in
were
England
members.
they would say St. Agnes Place. That's what was mentioned, St. Agnes Place. Like you would say Jamaica Avenue or Queens or. So it was actually St. Agnes Place was actually the headquarters of the Ethiopian World Federation.
Okay.
So I didn't know here, but I
So
learned more there.
there were no Naya Bingi or Bobo Shanti in your part of the UK when you were a young Rastafari sister was all 12 tribe in that region. And
We
was
were
that
the
be
first.
okay? And
And
was
and because we knew no organization,
yes.
what
Okay.
we felt we were coming up in the Nyabingi order. So we
Okay.
were like those women, we read the Proverbs, the Psalms, and our aim was to be a virtuous woman, and that was it. So we called it the Nyabingi order, the Nazarites. So we looked
Okay.
at those things, and that's what we went by. And
Okay.
there was no my. I have a cousin. I have a cousin who's a lot older than me that had dreadlocks, but I don't
Yes.
even think that I saw him as a Rasta because he always getting drunk. And as Rastas, we didn't drink, we didn't
Yes.
smoke, we didn't
Yes.
eat and we didn't eat fruit of the vine, we didn't eat grapes, and we did not, um, we didn't go anywhere when we were on a monthly
Yes.
period and stuff
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
So we lived a discipline, and it is
Yes.
a discipline because it disciplined us to make us who we are today. It was not a fashion that we found, and what we found that we felt we needed to do was what it was saying in the Bible. We didn't have anyone around to tell us, oh no, you mustn't do it that way, you must do it this way.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we went
Yes.
according to, the only thing we didn't have is the turtle dove to bring to sacrifice. So we basically learned from the book, and
Yes.
it was at that 70s. I didn't know in Ipswich any besides cousin Alva. I didn't know
Yes.
any other races in the town, and we were like 18, 19 coming up as well. So we learned
Okay.
that way, joined the organization, the 12 Tribe of Israel, and
How
stuck
how
with it.
important how important was reggae music at that time? Was that part of the influence? Were you listening to Rastafari creatives in the reggae music genre?
Yep, yep. That was the teacher. That was the main teacher because even at one time, it's just that reggae. And there was a band, and I thought, wow, he's singing hip hop, but he's singing Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yes.
When I first heard Earth, Wind, and Fire, I thought, oh my God, they're hip hop. They're doing songs, like you to say, spiritual songs as well. Just that song that said it's like a jungle sometimes make me wonder how I keep from going under. And so I started to listen to more of them as well. But the reggae music was the main teacher. And of course, when we go into the city, into
Yeah.
London, we go to clubs and would meet artists as well.
Okay.
It was Dennis was in our midst, Dennis Brown was in our midst, but Marley was in our midst, being
Yes.
members of the 12 Tribe of Israel. So,
Yes.
we had the best teachers around us. And I think those best teachers is what keep us going today, that we're reaching into our 60s and 70s, and
Okay.
there's nothing that can be taken away from us. No one can sway us. No one can
Yes.
sway me to, oh, come this way, let's go down here, let's switch. It's embedded.
Yeah.
It's me,
It's in the DNA. Yeah. Rastafari is the
Yes,
DNA.
it's
Yes.
locked. And I don't think anyone would try. They would try to get me to talk about different things, or get me don't talk at all. Keep
Yes.
quiet. You understand? But if you keep quiet, you're suffocating something and you're not teaching the people. The teaching is never done. There's a song that said that the teaching of the Lord soon be over, but it's never done. As you
Yes.
can see, there's a new generation and a new generation, and it
Yes.
becomes
Yes.
harder. It becomes
Yes.
harder. When you look at the brethren and sisters that was around you, um, 30, 40 years, I joined the Church of Israel 40 odd years ago. And
Yes.
then, of course, at least another 10 years as a young Ras coming up. And when you look at the people that you was around you, that you eat bread with, that you smoke with, they are not there.
Facts.
They're not all there. One or two are there, but they've, turned corner. Not to
Facts.
me,
Yes.
is that we're all in the same schoolroom, so we're not all gonna graduate in the
Yes.
same jobs or the same
Yes.
topic. So
Yes.
even if I've been in the classroom for 10 years with the brethren, and the brethren come up, graduate, and decide, I want to be Islam, it's not a
Yes.
problem, because Ishmael and Isaac are brothers. So it's
Yes.
not a problem. Not everybody is going to leave the classroom and
Yes.
have the same skill or the same
Yes.
career,
Yes.
or.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
it's not a problem. But I think some people feel away because they decide to join the Pentic church, or, you know,
Yes.
some people need different things in life, but it does not take you off the path that you are
And
on.
And I think some of it too was, I think, a lot of those numbers in those early days. I'm putting the pieces of the puzzle together. When you have mega superstar like Bob Marley, Dennis Brown, who's a 12 tribe member, you're gonna have
Mm,
some follow fashion people, like you say, that are there because of the hype. They love the music. They're not really there for the mission, you know. They're
mm,
there because they may see a Dennis Brown pass through the HQ. You hear say him up there. You know what I mean? They're there because Bob Marley, because Freddie McGregor,
mhm,
because 12 Tribe had some legendary, you know, reggae artists, singers and players of instruments. So,
mhm,
now that those ones are not there anymore, a lot of people, maybe they filter away, they get other interests, they're gone. And I think Rastafari as a whole, because if we look at Naya Bingi, 12 Tribe, Bobo Shanti, they're all going through the same thing, where you don't have all of these young people coming around now. You don't, that gravitation. Like everyone in their generation that I talk to, they started trotting up as teenagers. The I
yeah,
story is not unique. You're 18. Embracing this liberty, which was hard back then, because people don't even know what you're doing. You're crazy, as a
Yeah.
teenager, wearing long dress. You're not,
Mm.
what I mean? You're doing, what are you doing? You're growing your hair in an Afrocentric way, so this generation, so I think that's part of it, is that with the musicians now no longer so prominent, Rastafari lose that sheen. But then
Yeah.
the other part of it is that what have we built? And I think this is what's going to lead us into our topic for the day, because repatriation, there was a mission. This wasn't just a fashion, and you alluded to it early. There was a mission that His Majesty literally came and bestowed upon I and I, which was to come home, organize and centralize, help with the building of Ethiopia. He told CARICOM to come and become a part of the African Union. There's a mission, raising the standard of living of people of African descent. The EWF is a testament to this mission. So I want us to talk about the mission part now, because the I has given your life. You answered the call to the mission, and you are also a evidence that when you answer the call, there's a blessing in and of itself, because I'm sure a lot of the ones that you trod with are, many ancestors that you had trodden with that were your contemporaries who are now in the ancestral realm. The I have life, you're going back and forth. You're still very young and vibrant because you're still on that mission. You have not deviated, from that mission. Talk about the mission of Rastafari, of 12 tribe of Israel, and how that ties in with this repatriation. And then we're going to get to the topic of integration or reintegration. And we had a fascinating reason behind the scenes that I want us to have here as well, about the word sound reintegration versus integration or any other word sound. So we're bubbling the pot, family. If you're watching live, big up yourself. Let us know in the comment section where you're watching from. Put some emojis if you love it. We are talking to Empress Jasmin, Ambassador Jasmin, the president of Local 14 EWF, resident in Ethiopia. We're going to get into the nitty gritty of being on the ground in the whole of mountains. All right, go ahead.
So let me roll now. So as I said, I went in 92 and opened my account, find a school for my children, and then return and work for a further 7 years. So in that 7 year now, November 2000, the 12 tribe of Israel will send me to go and stay and settle in Ethiopia. So I was sent by the 12 tribe of Israel to settle in Ethiopia, meaning that they paid my fare to go, and I accepted and went. I worked with the JRDC school first, because the
Okay.
JRDC is a community school. You've had a lot of brethren that, like Brother Philippines, Brother Carl, who
Yes.
had started the smallness of the school. Now there were some brothers, Dean Dan, and Chris Dan from London, who had purchased this land specifically for building the school. So now there was a few buildings on there. School had started, but the school was not registered to the extent that, you could see, no, you can't go on like this, the children are leaving school too early. So it needed that the school to be registered so that the children can have a leaving certificate, and then they can go on to the secondary school. So between myself and another two sister, Shirley and Sister Janet, we went through that process, done that, and got good now, because now they can go on to the next stage in school, and from there also look for funding to help the children. It was getting larger. A lot of children was now registering for the school, because our school, the JRDC school, we taught in English or
Yes.
patois. We teach in
Yeah.
English, but we have America, Romifa, and so on as subjects.
Yes.
Physics, science, everything is taught in that English. because when they go on to secondary school and college, English is the main language. So we prepare them
Okay.
for that. So that meant that a lot of the municipality and those people register their children for our school. You know,
Yes.
we extended the school by raising funds and more classrooms. We had a group from Canada that was helping us, to give the children free school meals. So the children had a choice of the breakfast free or lunch free. They choose
Okay.
the lunch. So we had that section that would then give them a free lunch daily. It would keep them awake as well because they would fall off to
Yes.
sleep. And we had the Shashamani Foundation, which is Brother Carl and so on, that
Yes.
was sending
Brother Roy,
certain
Mama
amounts
Valerie.
in. That would mean now that we could give the teachers a certain amount in wages. So the wages were coming, but not enough. So we juggled it. We could never do this in England or America, but we done it in the sense that some teachers would say, "Oh, you don't need to pay me now." They were very patient. And so we would pay the head coming right down their salaries or demos.
Yes. Yes.
And I think it was Germany, because by now I became the school board governor after Brother Moses. I became the
Okay.
school board governor. And so I dealt with the salaries as well. So,
Wow.
and the
I didn't even
fundraising.
realize. I didn't realize that I was so intimately involved with the school. We're going to the school fundraiser tomorrow night
I know.
here in DC.
Sister Valerie
Um,
and Brother Carl.
yes,
We
yes,
come a
those are
long
my
way.
teachers. Those are my teachers, you know what I mean? Those are my
Right.
teachers, although I'm not a
But it
biggie,
is,
brother
it's
Carl,
why the
I'm
saying,
tell you.
wherever you go, let behavior be your savior. Because you
Yes,
don't know who you're working with in that chain. That
yes,
chain is long and you don't know who you're working with along the way. Sister Brother Carl and Sister Valerie are very close to me as well, my brethren and sister, and Brother Carl White also,
yes,
and others that
yes,
are working to keep the school going. And
yes,
so we got it going, in a sense that bills were getting paid, teachers were getting paid, and so on. I had the school board, the parents and teachers go in. And then there was a little chicka that I said, fix that problem and then I'll come back. And then from there, I went to work with the diaspora in my area, which is 010. So there's always work. There's never, ever no work to be done. There's
yes.
always work. There's not always salary, but there's always pay, in the
Oh,
sense
yes,
that the Almighty pays you for the good that you do. And
yes,
with the diaspora now, there was the situation that all the files were destroyed in the office. Then and the aroma, the Kambata, the Rasta, everybody needed to re-register again. So I took into that, everybody got registered, and then there was a committee set up of which I was the secretary. And
okay,
at the same time, I am also in that predicament that you can only extend. Remember, November 2000, I went in, and now I'm in way down in 2001, going into 2002. And
okay,
each time I go to renew my visa, they would give me 1 month. Or if I plea or talk, as you know, I can talk, I may
yes,
get 3 months. But it's
wow,
kind of I even at one stage got 6 months.
okay,
But it wasn't an easy task to get the visa extensions.
wow,
You understand? It was not easy. I went in on a 3 month, so I had a 3 month, and then I had to try my best to get another three. Then I had to plead with them, I'm home to live. So I don't want this. I even tried work permits to get work permits. But after a while, I said, you know what? I'm learning more as I go along. And then the more you
yes,
learn, the more you feel belong. You know,
okay,
while people were fussing about Carter plans and these
yes,
kind of things, no, I'm with the government, and they would tell me, The king gave you a gift. The gift could not come to you, so you had to come to the gift. You understand? So within the foreign affairs, the immigration, having coffee and talking, I learned a lot that gave me strength. I have to say, a lot of them did give me a lot more understanding that I could then take up that fight to fight for the rights of the brethren and sisters in them, because it seemed like they didn't see an angle to fight. Especially, I've gone through so many. They've gone from Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie's government, to Mengistu's government, then to Melis regime, from Melis to Haile Mariam, from Haile Mariam. They've been through a lot of different governments with different mentality, different structure, different attitude. And I always have to say my hats off to them. Those pioneers, the Philippines, the Solomon Wolf, the Desmond Martin, the Bridget and Sistren, who hold it 70 years. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being in a country for 70 years where they're making you feel like you don't have no land title? Why did Haile Selassie give you land and not us? You understand? So the argument is, why did the emperor give land to you but not to them? And I'd say because you had land already, but many came from different places. The reason why Majesty gave that piece of land was because of the work done in the people of the Caribbean and Black Americans coming to fight off the Italians. Ethiopians will tell you many Jamaicans are buried in Ethiopian soil. They came, they fight, they died. The Ethiopian World Federation started within 1937 in the preparation to gather those things to help Ethiopia.
Yes.
The blood bank, the Robinson, the pilots, and those things. Even to the extent that even after, if you remember, with Adwa, they had come through that same angle. Italians came through that same angle. Adwa is actually around the Tigrian region, but they have seen that Ethiopia has built bases there, physical bases that they can watch and see. So what did they do? They came from above with mustard gas to suffocate and kill the people that they could come in so freely. But Robinson, I think Robinson was from Montserrat, but Black American. He came with the plane and he dropped the mask around the Tigray region to help the people. Eventually, after finishing the war and everything is over, he returned to train more engineers so that the Ethiopian Airlines, as we know it today, can be
John
built
C.
up.
Robinson, yes, the Black
Yeah,
Eagle,
Captain
yes,
Robinson. And there is
yes,
actually a museum open in his honor now, just over by the AU, the
give
university by the
thanks,
African
give
Union.
thanks.
There's
Pan
a
African, that's Pan
yeah,
African in action. That's the Pan
yeah. But
African
then
history in action.
yes, but then Pan African really is the root of Adwa.
Is it?
It's through Adwa why we are here today. Because remember that the people of Ethiopia, they wasn't all getting on together. But when Menelik II called them and said, "You want these colonials, these Europeans, to take and rule your country and rule you?" They never wanted that, so they came together. So the Gragi, the Aromo, the Kambata, everybody came together to ensure they would fight off these colonials, Italians, and that's how we won the Battle of Adwa. And this is why we will say that is the first Pan-African, in that the people saw one way to win that battle, and it was to be united, no matter what
Is it?
tribe or what nation.
Yes,
They united, and with that we won the Battle of Adwa. Mm. Other organizations outside, like the United Negro Association and these
yes,
organizations, sprang from seeing that this little place could beat up these colonials. They
yes,
the world actually thought that the colonials could not lose any battle. They could
Yes.
just go in and take over any country and nobody could challenge them. But Ethiopia beat them to the extent that they were so afraid, but they never forgot it. And they still keep coming to try, even to this day, whether it be
Yes.
external or internal. They're still trying to this day. So now back to the that's just a little bit of insight.
Yeah, man.
Preparing to
Lion talk.
repatriate.
That's what we call lion talk, you know? We reason.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to talk some more on the repatriating. You
Yes,
know,
yes.
there was a song that said, "Pick up your bag and your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile." It's not as easy as that. It's preparation. It's preparation. I would not advise anybody to just pick up your bag and decide, say, "Oh, I'm going to Ethiopia tomorrow." You have to take into not only Ethiopia, repatriating as a whole.
As a whole, yeah.
Repatriating as a
Give us
whole.
the nitty gritty, because a lot of people now, this topic is becoming more. Cause remember, most of the people were comfortable in Babylon, you know, but Babylon, the comfort is leaving the West. All the
Mhm.
Western democracies are, the comfort is leaving. The cost of living is crazy. You know what I
Jeez.
mean? The crime, the this, the that. So people are now again starting to remember repatriation. Give us the nitty gritty of the reality of picking up from one country and going to another country, which you have done twice now, coming from Jamaica to UK and then from UK to Ethiopia. Talk to us.
Okay. I've now lived in Ethiopia 25 years. November
I see.
coming makes 26 years. You know,
Yes, yes.
every so often, I'm only 6 hours away. So every so often, I can scrape the money together and go to England and visit my family. You know, as I said before I decided to settle, I went and opened a bank account. I started to save there. I knew what I wanted. I knew that I needed to have land. I needed to build a house. I needed to, you know. But then I also, being a member of the 12 Tribe of Israel, knew that I had access to staying on the 12 Tribe of Israel HQ when I go in, because that was organized for me. But brothers and sisters, leaving out, you need to know where you're going, where you're staying, how are you going to manage, how long can you manage for? Because you know, if you leave with cash, cash goes easily, as you know, even no matter where you
Yes,
are. You
yes.
must know which visas do you want, how long does your visa last for, can you renew your visa, can you go from one visa to another, which visa do you travel on, you know, because right now you have like a tourist visa, which is what, excuse me, a lot of people tend to go for the tourist visa and don't think about the business visa. The tourist visa, you cannot change it to another visa. You understand? You can't just say that, okay, I'm here on a tourist visa and then I've got a job in the American embassy,
Yes.
so I will go and get a work permit and get that job. No, they want you to go back out and come back in with a business visa, or
Okay.
that employer apply for that
Important
for
point.
you.
Yes,
Yeah, you
important points.
understand? So the business visa is the more economical for the person who is thinking of repatriating, even if it's your first time coming to visit and you can get a business visa, get a business visa. You know, everything is on web pages now. A lot of people tend to think only of famine with Ethiopia, but Ethiopia is quite advanced in its technologies. So no matter what you're looking for, it's on a web page. It's on the immigration, it's on the immigration and citizenship services, it's on the investment service page. So you can go and look at any of those pages to see which visa that you require to enter the country. Worse is that if you come in on a if you come into the country on a tourist visa, And then now you find that, oh, you know, someone is giving you a place to stay and you got a job. You can't change your visa. So you put yourself in that stressful, you're living, you don't get me wrong, you're living, but you're living, you are telling yourself that you're living illegally. You are telling yourself that you are living illegally because, you know, as much as I said before that I had to keep switching and changing visa, I had a good 3 years where visa is finished, but I just got on with my work. You know,
Okay.
when I wanted to leave, I had to go to court. When they asked me, why did you overstay? I said, I forgot. That's me. I can get away with certain things. I forgot. Why did you forget? Because I was busy working. I was doing community work. So, you know, it's normally a 5,500 to 5,000 birr fine. They fined me 500 for that one and gave me coffee the next morning when I went to pay them. They took me in the office and gave me coffee. You understand? So it's how, again, how you
Yes,
deal with them,
yes,
because I needed to know a process that would give everybody their rights without this work permit, this you know, all of these things. What if you don't want
yes,
to work for nobody? Why do you
yes,
want a work permit? I mean, I actually had a year where I had you know, the foreign investment.
yes.
I had registered for the foreign investment. So I had 1 year, 6 months on that, you know.
Okay, okay, okay.
I had 1 year, 6 months where as soon as you register, um, years ID card, you know, that means you could come and go, you know. So I had a year plus 6 months, and that helped. Then obviously with the whole situation, I started to deal with the immigration. Immigration had sent a letter to ask how we were doing, um, why were we shipping the, you know, and why did you bring the descendants of, you know, back with
Yes,
us? All heap of questions that they had sent to ask us these questions. And we went out there, called a community meeting to tell the community the immigration is being in touch and they're asking these questions. And, you know, we're going to go up there to see them. So we need to go with the answers. And of course, some of the questions were straight up. Some, you know, things like, why are you shipping the ting ting? Well, not everybody is shipping it. Not
yes,
everybody is shipping it. But if the descendants of African slaves go somewhere and they won't allow to work or do business, it is always there for them to sell to feed their family. We didn't
yes,
bring it anywhere. I don't even think we brought it to Jamaica or anywhere else. It's always
yes,
there. So he nodded and accepted that. And then with the thing about the others, why did you bring the descendants? And you know, we
yes,
explained that many other places we're coming from, there was a multicultural society and people intermarry and husband bring their wives and wives bring their husbands. He
yes.
understood. He didn't, you know, we
Okay.
didn't go around and say, oh, you're going to take 10 of this. And it was a situation that people lived in. Again, they don't follow fashion. So
Yes.
we ended up with those. And that spring from that is how we got the ID cards today. The ID
Okay.
cards today, which I will come back in depth or something. The ID
Yes.
cards today that we have, okay, you have to take this quite seriously. Now, there are foreigners in every country, foreigners, right?
Yes.
But we are foreign nationals. We are foreign nationals of Ethiopian origin. So you see the difference. So foreign nationals of Ethiopian origin means
Okay.
that we are registered in the country as being living a long time. The only ones that has that is the Rastafarians, the Falasha Jews, and the Eritreans who's been there a long time, and also the
Okay.
Ethiopian diaspora who are outside. You know, some are born outside.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
as if we were born. And foreign nationals mean that we are carrying different passports. Remember the slave trade
Yes.
thing? We are
Yes.
carrying different passport. Foreign nationals. We're national of Jamaica, national of England, national of Barbados. Those are the national. A foreigner is a person who had just come in the country and they're going to be doing something in the country. So they deal directly with the immigration. We deal with the foreign affairs, immigration, and other offices within the government because it's seen as if we were born, as if we
Yes.
were born. You understand? So that is the difference with us and a foreigner.
Okay.
So where were we now?
The ID, and I give thanks because I think you're the first person that we're going into what Ethiopia looks like on the ground for the Rastafari community, because it's very important that we talk about the reality of returning, and take it from just a slogan, a chant. For many people, it's like you die and go to heaven. I mean, I even hear people saying when you die, you go to Zion now because like them give up on repatriation. So we want to make clear as Rastafari, historically, when we were saying return to Zion, it was always Africa. It was Ethiopia, and Ethiopia was the whole continent to I and I. This was the original teaching. Wasn't that the original teaching that the I came up with?
Well, to be honest, right, obviously the whole continent is Ethiopia, besides the
Yes.
fact that colonials have broken it up in pieces. But when we said we're going to Mount Zion, for some
Yeah.
reason, I thought that when we get to Ethiopia, there's a little piece up by Alexandra, and that's
Okay.
Mount Zion, and we're going to be going up there sooner or later. But we needed to gather. We needed to gather. It's like Majesty is giving us this place here that we must all come together here in Shashamani, and then now we would be going on our journey. That's how I used to think and
Okay.
realize
Okay.
no, we have to develop this. You
Yeah.
know, it's like
The
someone
reality.
is
Yes.
giving you something and you need to fix it.
Yes.
And I met this brother Dyer one morning
Papa
and
Daya,
yeah, and he
the
asked me
legend,
if
the legendary.
Papa Dyer, I know the family, yes. And
Okay.
I came out to buy bread, brother, I came out to buy bread. And he's leaning up at the shop outside by Robinson, and he asked me, like saying, know me, and asked me if me find any land yet. Me tell him, say, them tell me, say, me can't buy no land on the land grant, you know. Me can't build nothing on the land grant and these kind of thing. Him say, and me tell him, so them I tell me, say, we must get something up on Malcoda, which was across the river. And him said to me, see, I changed my voice. He said to me, then you would build up all them other people place and come here, come build up somebody else place. And build up field. So me look on him and me I wonder, how you mean? Him say, up there, sir. Baba give to the Eritreans and this him get away, and it made sense.
Yes. Yeah.
We have built Jamaica, we have built England, we have built America, and imagine now the emperor has given us this little piece of land that
Yes.
each of us can have a piece and build something on it, right? And I would leave it and go and build it on somebody else's. So I
Yes.
choose Shashamane and I took the land that I took was on the
Okay.
border of the land grant. Yeah, on the border of the land grant. And I
And
ensure
that's where
that
your house is today. That's where your house is today.
yes. And I took Solomon Wolf with me because I was his carer. Took Solomon Wolf with
Okay.
me to show me the border. Him say, him and Majesty walk Emperor Haile Selassie and Brother Solomon Wolf, they walk that border. So he knows exactly where the border. So that barn
Okay.
and the
Yes.
corner. and the river, and then the tent pole behind the bus station and going up. But the other river, where they say river to river, a lot of people thought it was the river going into the town, but it's the actual checkpoint. At the checkpoint going down to the Kabila office, that was a small river. So it's there that it goes all the way around and come back around by my place. You
Okay.
know. But
Before we move,
I do worry when I see people arrive and maybe they have friends that's gone there before them, and I'm using the words friends or brethren. You hear how I say the word? You see me put my mouth when me say the word brethren and
yes,
sisterin. You know
yes,
them I are because all I know that the same boat. But when
yes,
them
yes.
leave out of that the boat and gone in another boat and have
God,
to struggle in that other boat, you don't know them no more. You
God,
understand? I
God.
have to let you know that because they will, some of your own brethren and sisters will carry up the garden path, you know,
Wow.
and you won't even
Um,
know that they've done it. You need to be able to bank, bank, property, rent, purchase. If someone says to you, you know, say, why I'm going out of the country for 6 months, so you can stay in my house for 6 months, offer to pay them rent. You understand me?
yes,
Offer to pay them rent. That you will pay a contribution or you will pay the bills or something, because I assure you later on it will fall back on you. I've done it before. I've left somebody in my property,
yes.
you know, left people in
Serious
my
thing.
property and
Um,
renting, but never the people have never paid them rent. When me come back, like the people want me to pay them. Them say them
yes,
look after my house. So these are, and even up, I'm dealing with a case right now. I don't want
wow.
to make it see it's not all doom and gloom. It's
Yes. Realities.
think, yeah, it's think, you know, if you have not seen somebody for 5, 6 years and you were walking with them, it does not necessarily mean that they are the same. We have a
Yes.
saying, you know, Ethiopia give you knowledge and Ethiopia give you courage. But preparation is an important thing, and with the internet there today and everything at the fingerprint, at the fingertip, one can search. You can look for jobs. You can, you know, if you want, if it's jobs, you want to go into jobs, you got the embassies, you got the Africa Union, your embassy, whichever country you're from, is a good place to start with employment, because employment, they will give you accommodation and other things as well. And that's just a start. That means that you're coming in, you got a salary coming in while you're looking for your property and those things. 2000, in 2000 and behind, it was not easy. We had no choice but to get land and build. Today is
Yes.
different. Today, there's a lot of built properties. Properties are for sale, properties are for rent. You know,
Yes.
you got Airbnb that you can stay in for 1, 2 years.
Yes.
So, you know, things are different, but you utilize your internet and social media sector. Don't have
So
it in your head that
you're
Africa is backward.
emphasizing that this is a reality. You have to do research. You can't bun a
Yes.
chalice load and then you buy a ticket and then you jump and you're gone to Zion with 5 grand. That don't work again?
No, no. Unless you have something in your head where you're going to put that 5 grand that you don't spend until it's done. You understand? If you have another ways that the 5 grand that you have there that is growing, you know, and you're adding to it, sort of thing, then you can say, okay, then yes, okay, I can rent for a year and I can do this for a year. 5,000 is around 1 million. Half of, yeah, 1 million. It's 1 million. You might be able to buy a 1 bedroom apartment for that. You might be able to buy apartment that you have to work on for that or even less. You understand? But again, I I have to speak it clearly with the today's people, because it's a new generation coming in. You understand? It's a new generation. We were, I wouldn't say radical. We were that people that was diligent, and we were going by any means necessary. No matter what, fly could have bite, we are whatever, we're going and we're staying. It's a bit different of generation today, and they're not used to the pit toilet. You
Okay.
understand? You're not used to the pit toilet. You're not used to the pipe outer yard and go fill up the
Yes, yes.
barrel at evening time. They want the running water in the house, and they want the
Yeah.
flush toilet in
They
the
want
house.
all them
So
amenities. Yes.
yes, and no disrespect to that, because it is another era. We were from that training ground in Jamaica where if we never had it, we knew how to manage without it. But
Mm-hmm.
today they want differently, and there are properties made 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom house, bathrooms. There are those. And you can go online as well to look at properties for sale. You know, it is better to buy than to rent. But if you're temporary and you're saying, okay, you're gonna rent for a year while you get a piece of land and build something, then 1 year, 1.5 years is okay for
Yes.
renting, you
Yes.
know. But
And, and,
if
and
it
and we
was
have to normalize also people going to different African countries, because you might go in and it don't fit with your, every African country have a different energy, different vibration. Ethiopia is one of the most challenging of all of the African countries. This is not a beginner course. When you come to Ethiopia, it really is, you're in the throne room, you're in the Wola Mountain, but it's radically different than even the Caribbean. West Africa is more similar to the Caribbean. Ethiopia, you're really going into an ancient society.
yeah,
It's
it's
a
higher. It's
yes,
20,000 feet amongst the heavens, and
yes,
because of the land as well, Brother Chrissy, is that you know one of the things when I said that I didn't think about, oh,
yes,
my visa is up and I need to get out. Because there are many occasions when I do go to renew my visa and they tell me, it used to be 120 birr. Whether you
yes,
give you 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, so it's 120 birr. But you're gonna give me you're gonna give me 3 months, and it's gonna be 100. The man used to tell me, go and stay in Shashamani. So what does that tell you? If
yes,
he says go and stay in Shashamane, I didn't need no visa to be in
yes,
Shashamane.
yes,
So I
yes,
would go and stay in Shashamane. It's only like, say, if I needed to go out, that I would have to go into the immigration realms to be
immigration,
able
yes,
to get exit visa and so on. But the way the world is running today, the way Ethiopia is running today, I would not advise anybody on that road.
yes,
People come and they hear that man lived for 20 years without a visa, and it's not
yes.
the same. Time has
Not the
changed,
same Ethiopia.
technology's changed.
Yes,
It's
not the
it's
same Ethiopia.
no. And I mean, Ethiopia has never deported any of the brethren and sisters. You got brethren and sisters in 70 years and never had a ID card or any sort of thing, from the time they come. But they're not the kind of people that is going to be deported because they haven't committed any crime. Ethiopia
Yes,
don't deport we because we have land there. You
yes,
understand? We have land there. One now on the land, one will tell you that, oh, Mangistu nationalized all land, so all land
yes.
belongs to the government. Well, I challenge that. And I will say no. Mangistu could not have Mangistu could not have nationalized this piece of land there. No. If Mangistu nationalized that piece of land there, which was a royal proclamation of a land grant given to a nation of people, um, then he would have had to pay compensation. And who did
Mm-hmm.
he pay compensation to? Nobody. So when Mengistu decided to nationalize land to stop land grabbing, um, he did not take into consideration the Shashamane land grant, which is where I've reached today. So I've had
Yes.
to do a lot of legal action papers and
Yes.
proving that no, it was never nationalized. If it was nationalized, we would never have been given Ethiopian origin ID.
Yes.
That's one. And if it was nationalized, something would show that compensation was paid because it was a royal proclamation. It's not just an ordinary proclamation. That was a royal proclamation, and the only way that proclamation could be removed is if it was revoked by Emperor Haile Selassie before 1974, basically before he left the
Yes.
throne. I've had Ermias, I've had the rest of the Crown Council helping me to find papers. Then Princess Mary was who let me know that it was a proclamation and where
Yes.
to go and look for the actual proclamation. So there is a challenge that we have on our hand, and the whole
Yes.
world of the African diaspora needs to be involved in that because
Yes.
I've got a team of lawyers right now, America and England, who are together. And what we're doing is trying to put the papers together. I'm doing all the research, and all my research so far says that our land grant stands. But because of
Yes.
propaganda and the youths, I call them the youths on the ground, we're not getting on together. EWF
Yes.
thinking that the land belongs to them and talk about Israel being called names and stuff. The
Yes.
land grant belongs to the black people of the world. The
Yes.
administrators of the land grant is the Ethiopian World Federation. So
Yes.
the Ethiopian World Federation looks after it for the black people, whether you're Islam, Rasta, or not. When people come now, you're supposed to issue them, just like Mr. Piper did. Mr. Piper
Okay.
went in 1955 and set up the administration office. And that's
Yes.
what he did. He issued land. And Rastas came in, Pan African came in from England, America, the Caribbean, and all over.
Yes.
Things started to change in the 90s when some of the younger youths who knows about locals, wanted to change things, and that kind of mess up things. So right now, they are admitting that they've done wrong, and we're going through the process of fixing it.
Okay. One of the things that we're hearing, because the whole Ethiopia is going through a massive transformation, and they're breaking down. The Naya Binki House has been impacted. Part of the wall was knocked down through the Carter plan, and adding of green spaces, widening of the roads, which theoretically is a good thing because you want your place look nice and modern, but then it's also impacting a lot of people. Compensation not being paid is what we're hearing. What is the impact of this redevelopment been on Shashamane from your observation, and what do you think the Rastafari response should be?
I I'm in the middle of it, Faith. So eventually, if
Yes.
we on the ground don't get the land grant back in place or land
Yes.
to cover back that land, then we will have to call for protests and everything outside. But
Yes.
right now, they have ceased since the legal papers. We've had legal action papers that's been done to
Mm-hmm.
show that the community has been there on that land grant from for the past 70 years. January made 70 years continuously. Nobody actually left from the time the land grant was given. Given in 1948, some did arrive before 1948. Mr. Piper arrived 1955 in order to set up the administration office, and then more Rastafarian, more Pan African. They were in different sectors on the land grant itself. But right now, they are assuming that we don't know Oh, the older people have died off, so you people don't know. But there is research. So we have done the research, and we've had to write letters to a number of people to help with the case, like Mayor Motley, obviously the Foreign Affairs, the Immigration. They claim that they didn't have such papers. We found the papers and gave them the papers. So far, there's a little cease. I have heard one says that, oh, they have agreed not to touch the Rastafarians' homes. But they're not to touch the Rastafarians' homes because we have lots of food trees, you know, but they will have to do the roads. You do not have to tear down nobody's home twice in 6 months to build no roads. So last year, April, they came out, told the people to move back. No problem. It's space, it's space for a road. So people move back. Then they came and said, you can put your wall back now. That was about November. Then by March this year, they came and tell the people to move back again. You understand? So you put up, you are not paying for this movement. They are not paying for the movement of our properties. They are not paying for the building of our properties. So you cannot do that. And it is illegal under Ethiopian's law. It is illegal to give demolition order verbally without speaking of compensation first. And it must be in writing, and compensation must be agreed before any demolition is done. And eviction, with the eviction as well, there must be, with the eviction, there must be a discussion on compensation, and all must be done before any breaking down, and rehousing plus the rehousing plus compensation must be done. Even for your plants, your mango tree, your tomato trees, all these things. When you look at the law, it would seem like the tomatoes and the thyme and the pepper and the mango worth more than your property, because they have to count every single plant in your compound in order to do a costing on it. And some of them, I saw one the other day telling lies that there's a cashew tree in the compound, cashew nuts, and the cashew nuts is supposed to be worth 50,000 birr. I mean, there's no cashew there, but that gives you the mind what a plant is worth. So basically, right now, last week, okay, just before I came out, they had said that they didn't have the directives. We delivered all the directives to them. Directive needed to be restamped by the Foreign Affairs. We
When you
took it
say
to the
directives, what do you mean by directive when you say directive?
okay, the rules pertaining to us, the
Yes.
Rastafarian. So there's a
Yes.
proclamation. The proclamation covers the Rastafarians, the Falasha Jews, the Eritreans, and the Ethiopian diaspora. That's the proclamation.
Yes.
But then there's a specific directive for each of the groups. So the
Okay.
Rastafarian directives, I personally photocopied, and along with the old ones, touched them together and delivered to immigration, land, Foreign Affairs, and all. But then we were told by Foreign Affairs to get a restamp. So we went out with another list of names and request a restamping. And so far, the paperwork is being done in that direction. Land, on the other side of the land issue last week, 2 weeks ago, during the time coming up to the convention, we actually finalized some more papers to prove our rights of the land grant.
Okay.
I'm waiting now. I'm waiting on Monday. My colleague will check on Monday the updates on that. But we've got a lot of strong brethren and sisters who is not going to move, because there's a billions of people that's looking forward to come to Shashamane. you know. So we're not going to give up and say, oh my God, they're pushing us off the land and we're going to run. We ain't running nowhere. We don't have no aunties, uncles, and grandma's house to move into. So we're not moving anywhere unless compensated and extra land is given. You know.
Okay, I wanna so the certificate that you get, the foreign national status, does that allow you to work in Ethiopia? Does it allow you to own land? What are some of the
Yes, it does.
benefits that bestows on you having that status?
Okay, so the Ethiopian origin ID of foreign national, it means that you don't need a visa to enter in and out for the next
Yeah.
5 years. Your
Okay.
children can go to school, college, university. You own your land, movable and non-movable, which was the last thing that I done last this month, in July, early August. So we had to according to the proclamation, one is allowed to own movable and non-movable. That means that they own their lands or anything else that don't move or whatever. But over the years, we have proven it. But different people comes into office, and some people are quite jealous. I use the word jealous, and I do use it now in the offices because now they
Yes.
understand what it means. They're quite jealous that Emperor Haile Selassie had set aside something for a people that was sold out to return
Yes.
and settle.
Yes.
Yeah, you know,
Revolutionary.
we have not touched on the sub-Sahara slave trade. You understand? I won't even
Mm-hmm.
this sub-Sahara kidnapping. And we know that many was taken from the east around the Indian Ocean into the
Mm-hmm.
Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
700 years before the transatlantic, you know, it started on that side, and we haven't even touched on that yet. And the biggest fear is that we're going to touch on that because it's
Mm.
deep rooted. When they say Ethiopian Jamaica are blood brothers, it's quite
Yes.
a serious matter, you know. It's
Yes, I
not
mean.
just brothers, blood brothers. So
Yes.
when that you hear an elder say that and another elder say it and the majesty have said it, it's quite a serious matter. Okay, so
Yes.
how comes? You know, somebody's gonna have to tell the story at some stage as to how comes we are blood brothers. We're not just brothers, you know,
Yeah.
blood brothers. So
No,
those
it's
that were
serious.
sold from Wallo, many were sold from Wallo Jima
Yeah.
into Baghdad, and Baghdad sold them to the Europeans, who took them to a place called Jamaica. So there's
Yeah.
some deep-rooted history that has not been mentioned that Ethiopia don't want us to talk about. And anyhow, we mention the only thing they want to talk about is the reparations. The only way that they can have, say, Ethiopia and its reparations right now is quite a few areas, but they're looking at the slave trade, the slave trade more than anything else. And our place of safety is there, and we are there. So when it comes to the reparations, we are covered in the sense of what we're doing towards that ourselves. And that would be funds coming in that would be spent in Ethiopia itself.
Yeah. Um, are you the ones who have land in Ethiopia? Do they have the title for the land? Do they have legal title? How does that work?
Some people have titles, but if you remember, a gift was given to us, and
Yes.
people came to get the gift. But after a period of time, the change in governments meant that there was a disruption in the place,
Yes.
and
Yes.
Mengistu had called down some people from Asanageli to come and farm the land grant, but they were not
Mm.
allowed to build.
Mm-hmm.
Um, After that venture there now, the land, and this is in my time, the land became barren. So because the land became barren and could no longer be farmed, the farmers started to give it back to us. But it wasn't like say a compensation. We pick up that we never had no cows and sheep to give them, so it was like something like 4,600 bro. You know, 2,000 2,300 goes to the municipality or the Kabyle office, and 2,300 goes to the farmer. So they gave it back to us. It's like you just say, Brother Praise, to give this land to Sister Jasmine as a gift, with a house on it, because they all had a house on them, small houses, you know, that we would build our homes on. So that's the land grant in a nutshell. The problem, you know, so everyone has their land papers according to what they receive. If they want to get Carter plan, this is where the problem comes now, because it belongs to you. This land belongs to you. And if you want to get a Carter plan, which is Carter plan have been around for the last 15, 20 years. It wasn't there in the beginning. And if you now wants to get a Carter plan, you're basically leasing your land. You understand? So you have a piece of land that the emperor has given to us, and say I've got 2 acres of it, and then I choose now that I must get a Carter plan. I go to get a Carter plan. They're gonna measure my land and tell me that I'm gonna be leasing my land for 99 years, and I'm gonna be paying them tax for my land for. So you see the thing. And incidentally, in my research, when I checked on was tax being paid for the land grant? No, no external governments was paying any tax for the land grant, and also no tax was required. What was required was a minimum fee that was paid by the settlers, and they could have paid it to the Ethiopian World Federation, or they could pay it to the administration. Either way, the Ethiopian World Federation paid it to the administration anyway. So that's where we are with it. So, and I keep saying to everyone to find out more on the land grant and the issues, research. And when you find anything fascinating, get in touch with me so that I do have it, because we're pulling the lawyers, and we are certain that we are going to have to use the lawyers to fight to get that land grant back. Plus, so there is a link as well. I do have a link going around, a stripping link, along with the petition that's going around, that ones can donate to, because right now it takes a lot in transport up and down. If anyone knows how far it is from Shashamani to Addis Ababa, and more time now, when I go up, I have to stay over. So then I have to pay for the hotel, and then the taxis up and down. And, you know, it gets, I don't like to hinder the work. So that's why I will spend my own to make sure. But somehow, you know, I try and get it back. But now there is a link by the EWF going around to try and raise the funds so that we are ready for lawyers, and we are ready for any trip that means to go up to Addis, to, you know, to any running up and down. That is, we're collecting the funds ready for it, rather than the fussing every time about payments and taxes and hotels, and you know. But we're on it. You've asked some very good questions, and they're in the midst of what we're doing right now.
Definitely. And what I want to stress is that these things cost, because a lot of people, you know, my detractors, I have a couple of detractors, maybe 5 of them, you know, because you can't please everyone. But one of the main criticisms against I is how I talk about this money thing all the time, and economics, and, you know, yeah, make money off a Rastafari thing. And one of the things I want to really stress, and I keep saying it, we have to fund our own liberation. All of the work that we want to do, it costs, you know, and it's not fair to have people having to spend out of their own pocket to, their own families are suffering, they have their own challenges, and they're doing work on behalf of a global community. And we just look at them and say, and then we criticize them. They get all the criticism when they don't do the thing properly, and they don't get any of the support. So I am here to break those chains along with my colleagues in Rastafari Independent Non-Aligned Media to set a new standard where don't just watch and you see the sister and you say, man, she do great work. I'm going to ask her to share the link with I and I'm going to put it in the description of this video. Go to the link. If you're watching on the replay or if you watch it now, come forward and give us strength. Economically, we have to fund our own liberation. And and I'm gonna ask you about your term here as the EWF president, how you became president and thing. But one of the things I am saying is that why do we have presidents of all of these organizations and none of them are on a salary? Everything is volunteer, and we feel good about that as a people.
Tell
Like,
me
what
about
are
it.
we? You know what I mean? What are we doing? And we're adults. That's why I started a rebellion against this youth and elder in Rastafari. We have no adult classification because I say as adults, how do we come into a community and nobody is earning to do the community work? There's no full-time infrastructure in a global community. You're 40 years old and you're a youth still, and then and we can't blame the youths. Remember, we can't blame the youths. We always say that. And then the elders, you can't ask the elders for be shouldering all the work. So where's your productive class, that age group from 20 to 60 years old, which is supposed to be the leadership and the executive function of your community? I call people from 20 to 40 young adults, from 40 to 60 mature adults, and I say we have to add this to our movement. And these are the ones that now we're asking to ensure that our organizations are properly funded, that our organizations have competent people in the positions that are called for, and that we are operating these organizations as full-time institutions, meaning a man get up in the morning, he report to work, he knows he's getting a salary so that he can support his family and still do the Rastafari work. And if he doesn't do it well, we can fire him, But we need to be in a position now. We passed the full volunteer. Volunteers are good, but you cannot build a nation on volunteerism, Tell me if I'm talking foolishness, Ambassador Jasmin.
You're talking the truth. Listen, there are times, even running around with this job. Remember I said, they say that there's no work in Ethiopia. There's a lot of work.
Yes.
There's a lot of work, but it doesn't, there's no salary. I worked in the prison for 8 years. I work taking care of the elderly. I work in the JRDC school. I work as an ambassador. I now work also as a community liaison, immigration, and those things.
Yes,
And if you say, like last month, just before I came out, I think I had spent 10,000 plus because of the situation with the land issue and the running up and down. 10,000 plus on transport and accommodation and visiting offices and things like that. And it was very difficult to, even through the EWF, to get it back because this is only 1 month of 3.
Yes.
And Bridget, you're right. We do need community and nationwide. We need some kind of funds where when we know that there's a serious issue, we need funding to be able to pay the people to do. To pay especially when it comes to the governmental section. Because I know right now, when I go back in, I've got the people I deal with the homeless children on the street. I pick them up once a year and feed them. But I also know that we have a lot of other things within our community that we have to deal with. And it's, you know, the whole immigration structure needs to change. The foreign affairs needs to change. It needs to change into the benefit that where Emperor Haile Selassie had put this there for his people. The Majesty didn't just set up something and left it. He had set it in a way that it should not be turned or reversed, or but they have turned it, they have reversed it, and our people have done the same thing. Our people are the first to say, no, not no go so. And they will not open a book or to research a situation. If the government say, oh, the land is being um, taken away, and when you're challenging your own, some of our own are quite illiterate, very mouthy, but quite illiterate on certain aspects that can put you into bigger problem. Never not, no, I read in a book one time, or I hear say. We cannot work on hearsay. But my brethren, in order for us, whether we're on the African continent or whether we're off the African continent, we're going to have to find a way to put funds together to make things work for us. Whether it be the meetings, whether it be that we have to rent the ship, the plane, but we're going to have to start doing something. Because I've been here like 4 weeks and I'm seeing like the youths. And when I say youths, I'm talking 18-year-olds. You're right in the sense that back home, a 40-year-old is called a youth, you know. But here in the UK, I can see that there's a disturbance with the younger youth, them that they're just leaving university, you know, they're just leaving college and stuff like that, and their mind are far. And when I'm saying, what are you going to do now? Don't know. They don't think that they have to do anything. And these youths do not want to work for nobody.
It's true.
You understand? So you see how the mentality is. A few years ago, they would have been running to get a apprenticeship in the council or the housing or, you know, train line. These youths do not want to work for nobody. You understand me? So this is where some of us had been to that stage where we have settled up business, we've had our children working in our business. They are ready for those kind of things. But it's going to be a difficult job. I'm speaking personally about my little grandson. He told me straight, apprenticeship, that is slave labor. This is my 18-year-old grandson. But yet if I said to him, I'll give you £50 to clean the windows, he will go and clean those windows because he's earning his money.
And
You understand?
we have to be in a position to employ our youths. I say that as a people, it's not wise to send your youths out to other nations to employ them. We're the only people who do that as black people. It's not just Rastafari, it's black people. We prepare our youths to go work for other people, and when we don't have anything for them to come into, and that has to change.
And that's a form of slavery. It's slavery.
It is.
Slavery.
And I know
if the youth are not working for us and working for somebody else who don't look like us, it is slavery. And this generation is picking that up. My grandson sit there and he's telling me that what is slavery? If you're working for that man and he's giving you a little bit just to buy your food, then it's slavery. This is at 18, you know?
So they're wise, but and this is why I say that we have the responsibility, and the solution is every mickle meckle muckle, one cocoa full basket philosophy. If we have 50,000 people giving $10, that's 500,000 US. We can do that 2-3 times as strong. Easy. Local EWF local 14 come and say we need this. 50,000 people with $10. That done. You know what I mean? The budget for the year is put on. You know what I mean? So it's not difficult. Are we going to come together? And this is why we are mobilizing the Lion Pride, the global Lion Pride family. We're about to hit 80,000 subscribers, and I keep on saying to the them, because if you don't see it, you have to build it. And I'm a person that I don't like to just complain about things. You know what I mean? I don't think it's very masculine to just be complaining and criticizing. I think that's not a masculine trait. You can fight me in the comment section. But I think that we have to create solutions. So the Lion Pride, we are building this not just to be passive again. What we're trying to do is when we have guests on the platform, we get the link from the guests, we put it in the description, and you all will have the ability to go and fund these different causes, these different resolutions. And you cannot come on this platform if you're not doing work. The item should know that by now. We have over 1,000 pieces of content on the channel. We don't interview people who just attack and don't have a record of work. So once they come on this platform, even if they don't resonate with the eye, you can spread it out. Maybe somebody sees it and wants to give support. But what we're doing while Babylon is falling is we have to take this fiat currency, this paper money, digital money, and we got to direct it to where the work is happening while it still has value, and let the work be done. And the work that's being done is the building of tomorrow, of the alternative to Babylon. We can't just passively watch Babylon fall and chant and sing about it and it's falling around us, because we are going down in that judgment. When I was a young Ras, we were told about the careless Ethiopians. That was part of the education. How many careless Ethiopians will go down in this judgment? I don't want to be a careless Ethiopian. You know what I mean? So if you're not careless, that means you're working, you're actively preparing. And the Sistrin, as the president of EWF, and I'm going to ask the eye to just give us the history of how you became president of one of the most important EWF locals, which is Ethiopia local. But we don't have the luxury anymore, family, of just thinking this is a theoretical vibration. The earth is changing. Anybody who have eyes can see right now. Geopolitics, the whole chessboard is shifting up. And if we don't, it's just like in the scramble of Africa time with Adawa, Menelik was able to secure the borders. Now is the time to make a stand and to secure what is for I and I, because everything is shifting, everything is in flux, everything is at play. And Africa is emerging. It's I and I time to really come together and give some muscle to our brethren and sistren who are the pioneers on the ground. If they have the capital, then they have leverage at the negotiating table, because then they can come to an Ethiopian government and say, we want this land grant, and this is our development plan, and this is our 500 million in the bank that we have to do the development work to bring about this. You know what I mean? That's a different argument than you just wanting to get something and then they have to tell developers who are in their ear with all this money about what they want to do for Shashamani. No, and then they're giving it to us and then the place just sitting there. That's how they're thinking about it. They want to develop it into the Dubai of Africa, and Ethiopia right now is going through a transformation, if you don't know. So we have to be able to come to the table with a vision of, how this is going to benefit the local people, benefit I, and be strong and be able to implement the vision, and that take resources. So we're in a little bit of overtime. Thank you for your patience, Empress Jasmin. I want the eye to just give us the history of your connection with EWF and how the eye became the current president of Local 14.
Okay. Shashamani has three problems as a community. It was noted that the Oromo president, Junior Dean, around 2001, 2002, assessed that we have three problems: security, land, and status. Status meaning immigration status. So that's how I ended up there. Of course, I had worked with the JRDC, I've worked with the diaspora. We built the police station, the security outlet, which that land was given to us by the government. and about 45 soldiers was given to us by the commander, who was trained as police, plus 7 of the Rastafarians was trained as part of the security police. So security was sorted. And now was the land issue. And it would seem that the brethren and sisterins that were within the Ethiopian World Federation might not have understood the word. So a lot of us from the 12 Tribe of Israel went to join the Ethiopian World Federation. I joined in 2017. And then I'm just as I joined, I left to go to university I had to go to a university in the UK, but I was in and out. In the meantime, there was also the situation that there was about 3 or 4 saying that they were heads, international council in New York. And, there was a lot of other problems going on in New York as well, which I was called into. So I helped to sort out a California problem collectively. And then now the problem of the Ethiopian World Federation needed to be dealt with. So I worked on that as well with the international being a member. Around 2022, about 2022, I was nominated for the first vice president's role. But my papers was hidden. My nomination slip was hidden. And so one of the women in the room asked why my name was not on the board. I said, I don't know. It only the people that are nominated for posts, names were on the board. She said, well, I nominated you. So I said, well, it's a nomination slip. She says it's in his hand. So the person who was writing the information on the board had my nomination slip hidden in there. No problem to me. But when it requested that somebody to help to count the votes, I put my hand up and went and checked and came back out and said, there was one person who was nominated and their name wasn't on the board, which was, of course, Jasmin Rowe. And they asked for my name to go up there. By the time the election was over, I was not voted in. You understand? But someone requested that I should hold the second vice position, which I refused. Then he pushed, because we had a large convention coming up that year, if I would please hold the post. I agreed to it, but by the time it came to take the seat, I refused. And my reasons for refuse, when they called me to take my oath of office, I can't take my oath of office because I was not constitutionally voted in. In other words, someone did not nominate me, someone did not say second me, someone did not vote, the congregation did not vote for me. So I refuse, and of course, if you can hide my paper, how am I going to work on that executive board, knowing that I'm getting a fight already? So I did mention all these things. But the following year now, I was then 2023, I was voted in properly as first vice president. So I worked as first vice president in 2023. And then 2025, 2026, 2025, 2024, 23 first, 24, 25. But 2023, as first vice president, the president is away. So the president comes in, he's voted in, and he goes away. So first vice president has to run the show anyway. So I learned to run the show, properly. It was a fight, but at first it was okay, but once the following year, once I'm voted in as president, it's like, you're the first woman. What difference does it make? I'm a woman, but I'm still the president. It's still the same job description,
Yes.
So that's how it came to be. And then again last year, and then I don't know what's going to happen this year. I do have works that I do. You didn't ask me what is my ambassador's role.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Fill it in,
so
please.
as you know, the African Union, in order to include the descendants that are born outside, the African descendants that are born outside of the continent, into one Africa, Africa being East, West, North, South, and Central, in order to make a one United States of Africa, the inclusion had to be there. So we were made the sixth region. So those people born through the slave trade or who are outside of the continent are known as the sixth region of the African continent. I was made ambassador in 2018. My job is to actually link the two so that the diaspora and the African continent are working more together. I used to do that in the early days with a lot of Zoom meetings and explain what the sixth region is, what the Lumi currency is, and these things. But now people has got the drift of it. It's more now for everyone to start trading and start working together. I see Ghana this week went and did their thing in Jamaica for them to trade more together.
Yes,
And
yes.
that's what it's about. My job is to ensure that the African diaspora on the outside link with the Africans on the inside of the continent and work together. And one of the best way for unity is within trades, is in trading, working together business wise. And that's what I have or what you have. We trade. There was a
Yes.
saying with after the world wars in Europe, in order for them to, after they've done beating up and kill off each other, their saying was, a people that trade together will stay together. And even though they had beat up each other, they are the ones that brought about the greeting cards, to say sorry. Neighbors suddenly became enemies and then now the war. So they brought about these greeting cards so that they would say sorry, I'm sorry for your loss, and so on and so on. But then came the what you call it? The not what they call it today, but they traded together. All of them was
Okay.
trading together and they stayed together. A common market. They started the common market and traded together. Then they changed to the euro or European, whatever, and
Yes,
break
yes.
apart, you know. So that's what my post is as ambassador in Ethiopia, is to ensure
Okay.
that the two work together. And I work liaison with the African Union as well.
And
Bishop?
give us some of the ongoing initiatives, both with e- EWF Local 14. Obviously, you're doing work on the land grant and bringing the legal challenge with the land grant. But if you can tell us any other works that are ongoing for both EWF Local and then also within your ambassador work.
Okay. So at the moment, as most of you know, that a lot of the land is gone. So my way of getting back land, we have a lot of homeless children living on the streets as young as 8 years old, living on the streets of Shashamani. 250,000 children as a whole was my last study in 2018, homeless children in Ethiopia. So what I've started 2 years ago was to gather them, and I would take them into one place and feed them. We try our best not to do no injera. They have like jollof rice, curry goat, ital, sorrel, and then they have a bag of soap, shampoo, clean clothes, and what we can give them. So we've done it twice, and we're going to be doing it again in December the 12th. The idea of us doing this is to get land back. Now, I've requested from the land office in Shashamani 10,000 acre of land. This 10,000 acre of land is really for building what is called a smart city. And the city will have the schools, college, university, living accommodations for these children of different ages. They will live, they will have people to look after them, shopping center, theme park, 2 acre of what do you call it, solar system that would run there. We'd have agriculture that is planted, that is run through, so we can have farming 24/7. and the 75,000 jobs comes under that. That's within the shopping center, the cinemas, the doctors, the nurses, the teachers, and so on. 50% of those staff must be from the diaspora, from the African diaspora, and we will work it that way, and expand. So that's that project there. So last year, the municipality did donate a bus to us, and the what do you call it? One of the hotels did donate soaps. So what we and I donated a goat. I donated a goat because it's meat time. So I did donate a goat plus my time. I do most of the cooking, and we go out there with the children. We have to work with the social affairs because the children are homeless, and the social affairs log them. They know exactly where they are. So wherever we take them from, we have to register them, and we have to bring them back to those same area. We can't just let them go out. So that's one of the project that is ongoing. We also have the elderly care project. The elderly care project, many of our elders don't get no pension. They're from the Caribbean or certain areas where there was no pension set aside for them. So presently, I collect funds that goes into an account, and we collect funds and it goes into account. And then now the elderly at the moment stands at 1,100. They have a direct debit monthly, 1,100 birr that helps them with their bills and those things. Plus, we have others that will volunteer themselves to like go and cut their grass, go and fix something in their house. We would ideally like that we can actually pay those people that are going out, because they're mostly the young youths as well. They're going out to go and cut the grass and clean the windows, and we would like to have it as an employment for them, that they're doing it, but they're employed as well. We don't like to have ask people to do anything without pay. We don't pay, especially the young people. We don't like to do that. But at the moment, they are going out. People are volunteering as well, though, to pay. I've had a few that says I will pay the boys to mow the lawn or to fix the pipe in the kitchen. So those are the two things. The juvenile youth, those who know the juvenile youth, within the EWF, there's a juvenile unit. The oldest youth in the juvenile unit is Naki. He's 22 years old, so he's the chair. Now, when Naki and the youths had come to me last year with a project, they want to have a recording studio. They want a recording studio. One room is a recording studio. They want a room for 5 to 15 years old, where they're doing crafts like making necklaces, beads, shoemaking, tailoring, and those kind of things. And another room that is a library with books of Black history books. So I kind of designed a proposal for them, and they're trying to raise funds to get that on the go. So they've got a bank account open specifically for that purpose, and they've got the juvenile that they do fundraising for. And then, of course, I help out with the JRDC's back to school program. My sister in Joan, she has the back to school program, which is her baby. Over the years, we've learned that if the children don't have what they need for school, they don't go to school. So if it comes, each child needs about 12 exercise books for school. And when you look at one exercise book, maybe 85, 90 birr for one, and you have 5, 6 children, it's a lot of exercise books. So what we do, it's John's baby. John is her sister who's been there many, many years, and she's worked with the school, with the JRDC and the board, and saw the problem that the children wasn't coming to school because the parents didn't have the money to buy them exercise books and pens and pencils. So each year we try and raise the funds to buy exercise books pens,
Okay.
pencils, and any other little things that we can do. And then it's called the Back to School program. So the early
Yes.
part of September, we will then issue books. We register them and issue maybe 12 books and pens and pencils in a bag to each of the students so that they can go
Okay.
back to school. You know, those are some of the main projects that's around the
Mm,
corner right
mightyful,
now.
mightyful, mightyful.
Yeah, you know.
We give thanks for the frontline soldiers, and as we say, Ethiopia for Rastafari is a very close to our heart. Even
Yeah.
though many of us choose to enter in West Africa, we always have that love for Ethiopia and the ones them who are on that front line. We have to give them a special love because it's not easy. Trials and tribulation. I'm going to ask that I share the information for ones to donate. Just send it to me in WhatsApp and I'll add it to the description of this video. And again, I've just appealed to the global family to support. You can hear the works that are happening, and again, they should be able to have a full budget and a full-time staff that is ensuring that these works happen. And it doesn't take a tremendous amount of money from any individual if we all come together as the Lion Pride. And I'm very careful now. I'm not talking about people outside of the Lion Pride, because once you click subscribe, you say that you're like-minded. You know what I mean? So we have a group of us now. And I want to just also say, I'm looking, I think we're about 8 people away from 80,000 subscribers. So if you're watching live and you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Let's hit 80,000 while we're on the live right now. Let us share a little milestone moment together while we're live. We need 8 people to click subscribe on YouTube to bring us over the 80,000. And again, I use the number 50,000 because if 50,000 of the 80,000 put $10 US together at one time, that's $500,000 that we as a collective can generate with only taking $10, which is, in Babylon, you can't buy a meal for $10 anymore. You know what I mean? So this is why the every mickle make a muckle is our solution. With the technology that we have over land and sea, we have people from all over the world. We can put a little small, and what I want us to do as a commitment, as a Lion Pride, this is the vision. We have 2 regular episodes every strong, Wednesdays and Saturdays. If every Lion Pride member puts aside $20 US, whatever that is in pounds, that might be 15 pounds, it might be whatever, I don't know what it is in your Caribbean currency, but if every Lion Pride member put aside $20 every strong, that means every Wednesday guest you send in $10. Every Saturday guest you send in $10, and we do that until we get to the 50,000. What we're going to find out is that we will be able to transform what Rastafari and what this work looks like in this time. That's the impact that we can have as a global Lion Pride, just by having that commitment and that discipline to support that $10. And not every, remember, if you don't like that person, you don't have to, but if you commit, maybe the time that you don't like the person, you give that $10 to the channel, whatever. But if we commit to, and we have enough of us, because the channel is always growing, so we're going to get to 1 million subscribers. And if 50,000 of that million, which is a small percentage, does that, then think about the power that we wield as a collective, as the Global Lion Pride. We are 6 people away. We're at 79,994,000 subscribers. We need 6 more people to click subscribe to get us over 80,000. We can do it, family. Send the link to your brethren, get your granny, get your daughter to go pull up them phone make we pass over the 80,000 on this live. We have Empress Jasmin, Ambassador Jasmin Rowe, who, you know, Rowe is a maroon last name too. A lot of maroons
I
have that
am a
last.
maroon.
Okay, talk about it. Talk about talk
I
about
am
it.
a maroon from down Manchester, down Craigie.
Okay, yeah, because I'm looking at the name Rowe, and I know that that is a maroon last name, you know.
Yeah.
So give thanks for that. We're gonna seal up shortly, but I just want to thank the eye for the work. I know it's not easy. I know those thankless journeys from Addis Ababa to Shashamani, from Shashamani to Addis Ababa. You know, when you could be looking about your own affairs, traveling to do the community work, having to come out of your pocket, find it, hotel, meals, all of these things. I just give thanks for your vision as a mama and a grandmother um, on the front line doing this work. You know, if you haven't heard it, um, just know that as the Global Lion Pride, we love the eye. We are thankful for the eye. We see the eye, and we want the eye to be strengthened on the journey so that you can train the next generation to continue the work that the eye has done and is doing. And we really, before we leave, the final thing I want to touch on this whole topic of integration, reintegration, and just settling in a new place, because on the title I put repatriation to reintegration, and my thinking was that if we are saying we are Africans or we are Ethiopians returning, then it wouldn't just be integration, because we are returning to self, but at the same time we have a new experience. We're not the same. We're different people. We have been transformed by our exile, our time of exile. And you know, when I sent it to Ambassador Jasmine, she said, boy, her and our family, they look at that word reintegration a little bit, and we're pondering it. So I want to have that reasoning here in terms of how do we turn, because this is very important for the return, is mindset. You know what I mean? Big up I just started the mindset. Mindset is so critical to what we're doing now, because if we go with the wrong mindset, we are doomed from the start. If we have the right mindset, then we give ourselves a higher chance of assurance. And as someone who's actively in the process of building on the continent as well, I know when you're on the ground, it's a different story than you thinking about it from the West. There are cultures that you're integrating into, there's language that is there, there are traditions, there are chiefs, there are kings, there are customs. Talk to us about integration versus reintegration, and why the sound reintegration gave the eye pause when you saw it on the flyer.
Hmm. You know, a lot of what we were taught in the Caribbean, especially from the Caribbean, and even Caribbean into America, into England, came from our great grandparents, not only on the in the slavery, but beyond. You know, so we were brought, a culture was brought with us, and many of it seems the same. But to go into a country where, if I'm going to use Ethiopia, where there's 85 different tribes, 85 different ways of doing things, and we're going to go and say we're going to pick up their ways? No. And I think this is one of the problem with our nation is we tend to pick up the ways of other people that we go amongst. Integrate can mean that we get on with them, we respect their cultures, we respect their religions, we respect how they dress and the things that they do. We respect them. The only thing that I think we need to learn is really the language. really the language. We don't have to pick up a habit and say that uh, pick up certain habits. For instance, you have a tribe that they marry their girl children off at 8 years old. 8 years old. So a girl child is given to the mother-in-law at 8 years old. And at 12 years old, she's given to the husband. So we've got to be mindful when we talk about that integration and, because as far as I'm concerned, from time I can say good morning, how did you? I can sit in the same classroom as a person who might not have the same language as me. I am respecting their culture and they're respecting mine. I don't have to change to do the same as them, And this is an argument that does come up quite a bit in Shashamane, especially because a lot of things was there before we arrived, especially the split. But they tend to think that we are the ones that introduce it. And I don't see anybody traveling on a plane with a tree or a seed or maybe, but you understand me? So integration, I don't think so. I think respect, like Majesty says, respect the culture of the people you go to live amongst. Does not mean you have to change to be like them. I've seen where there's a saying that our parents have, and they said don't go. I've seen where many has been don't go because they think they has to pick up the same ways as the people they live amongst. And whereas our habits are different as well. So that's all I can say on it, Brother Quasi.
But is there, because we also have some things in the West we pick up that we want to leave behind. We have a baby mother culture that we have adopted.
Yeah.
We have, the fam. So there are good things I think we can learn from where we're going. But I think to your point, is not everything that we need to, and this is the concept when I think about integration doesn't mean you're picking up everything. As His Majesty said when he sent the students to study abroad, he said bring forward the good things that you learn. We're not sending you to England and France to become English or French. We're sending you to learn the good parts of the culture, bring it home, and preserve the good parts of our culture. So in the same way, I would look at integration from I standpoint as some things we need to leave behind in the West, some things that we need to, Africa's family is everything, regardless of some of these customs, child marriage, and certain things where we know that Empress Menen start to abolish these things in Ethiopia, so that wouldn't be part of our tradition as Rastafari. But in terms of reorienting ourselves to the importance of family, of fasting, of certain little traditions that are ingrained in the culture at home, I think that's important for us to assimilate. Just as when we came to America from the Caribbean or we came to the UK, we assimilated aspects of American and British culture, So I look at integration as that delicate dance between we're bringing some things home that has changed and evolved, but we're also taking some of the good Asian practices and embedding it within us and healing ourselves from the colonial experience. What would the I say to that perspective?
Yeah, I in putting it in that aspect, yeah. I mean, I one of the things that do fascinate me is that when it comes to business with
Yes.
with the indigenous in my town, in my area, Shashamane, there is no competition. And it fascinates me because a man will open a coffee shop selling coffee
Yes.
and
Yes.
injera today,
Yes.
and his friend will see it and come and open next door the same coffee shop.
Yes.
And then the mother-in-law will come and open the same next to them. And it fascinates me because it's like they're all selling the same tukubuna by injera, they're selling coffee by injera and so on, and water.
Yes.
And there's no competition. There's not, no one is saying, oh look, don't come and pitch next to me, or you're not thinking to yourself, oh, there's already a coffee shop there, so I'm not gonna open a coffee shop there.
Yes.
But I don't know if these coffee shops are front. Do you know what I mean? Because they do have that in the West.
Yes. Yes, of
So
course, of course.
as I'm talking about it, and I'm thinking, there's so many in a row. Maybe they are just front. You know, we do go through process of house to house search during the night and certain things. But habit, I think maybe I am taking integration and habits. I think the
Yes.
habits are what we don't pick up, like the
Yes.
hygiene
Yes.
standards and those kind of things. But there are some things that I take my words that we have to learn. We have to learn. We don't have to be in it, but we have to learn it to know it. Like we know that Timcat is February, New Year is holiday.
Yes.
We know
Yes.
the days, we celebrate the days, we get involved in certain things like the New Year holiday, the
Yes.
Timcat,
Yes.
these kind of things. We do get involved with them, more so than we would outside. Because certain of those occasions we didn't get involved with outside, but we do on the ground. And for Haile Selassie's birthday, we have encouraged the locals to be more involved in it. Because, for years we have been celebrating it outside. But we
Yes.
have now make it for the last many years now, that even the municipality, the government office will take the time to come to sit with us for Emperor Haile Selassie's birthday. They say Hamli Aspersidis. They will come even to have breakfast because we're open breakfast, lunch,
Nice.
and the Bingi and the EWF will do the truck, the cart, that will take the music and drumming through the town. And by afternoon, is the 12 Tribe of Israel will do the stage show, and the food and everything is there. And they do actually look forward to it. They look forward to those two celebrations actually. The
Okay.
indigenous, they look forward to the 23rd of July, which is what we celebrate. They would not normally celebrate. And they
Yes.
look forward to the 2nd of November, the coronation of Emperor Haile Selassie.
Mightyful,
And
mightyful.
they have really got into it. They're looking for their red colors, they're looking for their browns. And, those are two occasions that they have, seriously, when I think about it, taken up, that they're not afraid to take up, whereas a lot of people is afraid to take up anything to do with Emperor Haile Selassie. They're afraid, but the indigenous in the area, the Amaras and
Yes.
so on, yeah, they are ready. They're ready to celebrate. And plus, we also, we were made the 83rd tribe of
Okay.
Ethiopia.
Yeah, speak about that.
So,
Explain that to
yeah,
people, the significance.
so what happens now, before the Tigray and the TPLF war within the 2020, every year, all the tribes would come together, including the Rastafarians, and we bring our flag. And as you know, the Rastafarian flag is the Lion of Judah, the Moembasa.
Yes.
The
Yes.
Ethiopian flag is the one with the star, but the
Yes.
Moembasa is the Rastafarian star flag. So we would come out with that. The Sudan would come out with theirs, the Aromo with theirs, the Amara with theirs. We all come together in one place, all our crafts and different things, We respect each other, and we do that annually. Then there's a competition, but there's also a housing project which town or which tribe or which area has done the most in development, which has got the
Okay.
best craft. Actually the Banana Art Museum in our area, have won a few times as well. So there
Okay.
are things that they pick up from us. They picked up the language very well, you know. In fact, they picked up the language more than because our brethren intermarry. But the women tend to pick up the language, our language, more than the brethren pick up their languages. Yeah,
Okay.
you get me? So yes, some
So
part of
so
the integration is good
so
and
Rastafari
vital.
was designated as a tribe of Ethiopia, just like the Tigray, Oromo. They're
Yes,
officially in the government registry, registered
yes,
as a separate people group.
yes. And when that happened in 2002, when that happened in 2002, the argument was that, oh, they want something in writing. They would not believe it. You know, it's like want to want, you can't get it, and get it, and want it. But we were told that you need to keep up with it. Besides you being made the 83 tribes, if you look around, there was about 50, but there was the others that had been accepted within the Ethiopian the Ethiopian as well. When I say the Ethiopian and the indigenous, because all black people are Ethiopians.
Yeah.
So all of them that had been, but they have to keep going, keep going, keep going. And every once a year was the nation and nationalities. This started from Emperor Haile Selassie's time. Ethiopian nation and nationalities. You hear the words? Nation and nationalities.
Yes.
And these people, we would come together once a year, put out our crafts, and our musicians come out and sing. We hoist our flag, and we just spend a day, all the tribes and nation and nationalities, a day together. But since the TPLF war is kind of slowed down, it's very difficult to pull all in one place. Last year, I went to I was called at the municipality in Shashamane, and that did have the Sadamo, the Aromo, and those are Aromos, those from Shashamane, and the Sadamo was invited as well, which is the neighboring tribe from Awasa. So there's quite a lot of people, but it was not the same as having the whole 80 out of us together. I think the last time I saw that was 2018 when the Prime Minister Abiy's inauguration, that the whole 84, we wasn't there. 84 came through different tribes. In fact, as the 85 tribe, we had to have our own uniform, our own traditional clothes, our own language, and our own dance, and so which we took khaki as our traditional cloth and Khaki patois as our language. As you know, the patois, you got Portuguese patois, French patois, Spanish patois, etc. So we just use the word patois, which would cover all the colonial languages. And electric slide. We found that around the globe, most area where the African descents were, they could all do the electric boogie, electric slide. So we made that a dance and started to train our community more how to do it. We've done a lot of work over the past years to integrate. That's
Mighty
the
fine,
word.
mighty.
So that's the
Yes.
word, integrate, that we had to have our own tribe that they have given us. And
Yes.
that was delivered in South Africa 2000, delivered in South Africa 2012, May 2012, when Abby went missing, when our Prime Minister went missing.
Yes, yes, give thanks. There's so much. I do have to seal up. This is part one. You know how we do it
Mhm.
here on the Lion Voice Network. We can't just do one reasoning because there's no end to reasoning in Mount Zion. This is one of the most comprehensive reasonings we've had about Shashamani and the land grant. When we talk to Brother Carl and Mama Valerie, it's usually about the school specifically. So we don't usually get into the full land grant. So I give thanks to be able to reason with the eye. I have been to Shashamani, and it's a beautiful, beautiful region His Majesty gave to the black peoples of the world. There's so much more I want to touch on, but I want to be respectful of the eye time and everybody else's time. Let me see if we hit the 80,000 before we seal up. We are at 79,997. We need three more
Oh,
people.
one more.
Yeah, we need three more people to click the subscribe button to push us over 80,000
I daren't press
subscribers.
anything. I might turn off the phone.
Yeah, don't do anything. We must have three people watching who are not subscribed on YouTube. Click the subscribe button. Also, if you love what you see here, this type of comprehensive support, Rastafari independent, non-aligned media, and ask yourself, if you're Rastafari, why am I not a monthly subscriber? Why am I not supporting this type of media? I want everyone to think deeply in themselves, because it's programming why we're not supporting ourselves. You know, who's going to fund the documentary on Rastafari in the UK and go and deal with that if we don't have strong Rastafari media platforms with a budget and staff to be able to do these things,
True.
to research all of these things. There's so much content and things that need to be documented. One of my I don't want to say anxiety, but one of my concerns right now is that we have a generation of elders that are passing away. A lot of them, they can't come on this live stream. They don't know how to deal with that. They don't have. You have to go check them at them place. And we're losing an archive a day, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Just quietly, these elders who trod the rocky road. I want to be able to go and travel and document some of these elders before they become ancestors, and we can't do it without the funding. So if you love Lion Voice Network, this has become your go-to TV. Ask yourself, why am I not giving $5 a month or $10 a month? I can afford it.
true.
So why am I not doing it? Ask yourself these questions, because it's programming that's pausing you from doing it. It's not, because I know that, because every time I meet the item, you tell me how much you love the platform, how much you want to support. And I know it's just sitting down and doing it. Sometimes there's so much distraction. So I'm really asking the item, imploring the item, become a member of our Lion Pride on Patreon. Okay, we're gone past 80,000. We're at 80,001. Give thanks, family. 80,001 subscribers on this live. What a joy. Put some emojis in the chat. Let me see a roll call. We're going to seal up, but let me see who was on the live, so that we can record it when we seal up. Put in the chat where you're watching from. We have 50 people online, 49 people online right now, 7 times 7. Yeah, you understand? 7 times 7 when we hit the 80,000. So put in the chat where you're watching from, so that we can record this history. This is a history for the channel. I already have our special guest for the 80,000 subscriber episode, and it's epic. Straight from the continent. I'm not gonna say who it is yet till I finish editing the episode, but we have that lock and loaded. We're getting that ready. Do you know Ja Voice from Shashamani? Do you know that, brethren?
Your voice.
Is
No,
a
maybe under a different name.
he's a Rasta brethren of European descent. He's one of our Lion Pride. He's very active in the comment section. Do I know the brethren? Any Europeans that live in Shashamani of
I
European
know some
descent?
Europeans up at the French village, and I know Ruben, a Ruben brother.
Is that the Ija voice? Make we know if you know Empress Jasmin. Put it in the comments section if you know Empress Jasmin. But yes, family, put in the comment section where you're commenting from. This is a global uprising. 53 people online right now watching. Put it in the comments. We have Kenya. I see Kenya. I see Jamaica. I see Shashamani. I see New York. I see St. Lucia. I see Trinidad. Let them know we're there. we're there in force and we come to change the status quo. This is a uprising, this is a revolution, and again, together we can change this movement in a positive way, meaning we can fund the workers. And big up Rases Jazanai Kush, you was the recipient. We gave $100 US as our July Community Works grant. Empress Jazanai Kush. First was Mama G. This month we're gonna nominate some more people. Every month we're giving away $100 US to a community worker. If you want to become a part of that voting, join our monthly subscription and become part of the Lion Pride on Patreon. Beautiful Manchester, Jamaica tuning in. Yeah, man. New Zealand tuning in. Yeah, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. So we're going to seal up now. I'm going to give Empress Jasmin a chance just to give her final sound. We did it together. 80,000 subscribers on the Lion Pride on page 80,003. I didn't even get a chance to screenshot the 80,000, but give thanks, family. Beautiful, beautiful manifestation as soon as Wi-Fi the guy finishes his appearance. Because you notice a big moment like this, Wi-Fi the guy have to just make an appearance. He's a character of this uprising until we get our own satellites. Wi-Fi the guy, I will be there. So big him up, see him way him, have to show him face. We did it together. Our goal, we have 50, I think we have 52 people in our Lion Pride on Patreon, our monthly subscription. Our goal is to get to 100. Help us to get there. 100 people paying monthly. The ultimate goal is 1,000 people. That's a mature ecosystem, but we start with the 100. So definitely I see Canada in the chat. I see Kenya in the chat. Yes, we are here. We are mighty. We are united. And united doesn't mean that we don't disagree. Don't get it twisted. Sometimes we disagree vehemently, but that doesn't change the unity and that we are chatting to the same destination. Yes, we are the children of Haile Selassie the First. Haile. Full Pan-African family. As soon as she... All right, Empress Jasmin. Can they hear I? Greetings. Can they hear I? Isis. Can they hear I? Royal blessings, can they hear I? Royal blessings. We're dealing with a little bit. As soon as she comes forward, we'll let her say her final words. But I want to thank them. Can they hear I? Isis, can they hear I? Royal blessing, can they hear I? Let me know if the item can hear I in the chat. Okay, it's the Wi-Fi. Saint Croix is in the house. Saint Lucia is in the house. And big up my sister here, one of our latest monthly subscribers. And you can subscribe on YouTube or on Patreon. The only thing we say, if you subscribe on YouTube, make sure you're a free member on the Patreon so that we can get your email, so you get the newsletter and all of those things. You know what I mean? We're working on it. We're working on it. Ja Fiti says, Ja will must be accomplished, and I are his tools, his children. Just continue to blaze the fire. Not all would have the same toughest. Ja, big up yourself, Ja Fiti. Royal blessing. Yeah, Bingy. Let me see, Empress Jasmin. Can you hear I? Can I hear I? Isis, can you hear I? 1 2 1 2 1 2. Can you hear I? Empress. Empress. Empress.
Yeah, we cut off.
Can you hear me? Can you hear? Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear the I now. I
Yeah,
just
can you
want.
hear me?
Yes, I hear the I clear
Yeah.
now. I just want the I to say your final sound and then let people know how they can support one more time. But just give your final sound to the global family.
What's she? Oh, and Lane. I saw Lane saying hi, Sister Jasmine. Lane is my son.
Okay. Royal blessings. This is a family platform, so we love that. But say your final word sound.
Blessing and give thanks, everyone for listening in, and do take heed as to what's happening. I'm glad that I can help. I will send out the information for the Feeding the Future, which is feeding the street children, caring for the elderly and the youth, and the back to school program. I will send those information out, and thank you for your time, and thank you for listening. Those in Shashamani especially. Hi Lane, and hi Jason. Blessings everyone, and give thanks for listening in everyone. Rastafari.
You know what I forgot, Empress, before we go, the trip with Ras Josh, the trip to Ethiopia. Is there any updates? Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Can you just quickly, if there are any updates or any sounds that need to be shared on that trip?
Yes, so far, there's seven that's permanently booked. That's booked permanent. We are sorting the accommodation in Shashamani. Someone else is doing the Addis. And the team, we've got a team of 5 who are set, done ID cards, done translators, and tour guide. So accommodation should be finalized. They're coming in on the 25th of October. They will arrive in Addis. 26th by 27th, they will arrive in Shashamani. And we're hoping and praying that Brethren and Sisters, even though that we have guides with them, that the community show them the best of hospitality and look after them on the street when they see them, please. But they should be arriving in time for the 2nd of November stage show. It's just the accommodations really, and the other people. More people are booking. They are putting their funds together, so they are trying. So we might end up with at least a 20, 25 that will be coming in.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, it's getting there, and encouraging one another,
Beautiful, beautiful.
Okay.
So things are
Thanks
happening.
again, and thanks for inviting me. Yeah.
No problem. Family, things are happening. Don't let nobody fool you. Make sure that you're on the right frequency for your child. Don't let nobody fool you that repatriation is not in motion, that the gathering is not happening, that the unity is not
Yeah,
there.
we keep praying.
You know what I mean? I have to just do what we're doing. Give thanks for everybody watching live. Support, become a monthly subscriber. You know what I mean? Support the guests, support the ecosystem, feed Rastafari uprising. The architecture of tomorrow is being built today, and I are making sure that Rastafari independent non-aligned media is a part of that reality, and we will not stop. Why? Because the time has come for the lions to tell our own story, and this is the lion's voice.
Original Abashinya. Yes. And we're endorsing the lion's voice. Big up Raspasi. See?
Big up Rasputin.
It is time for the lion to tell our own story. Yes, sir.
Like this. There is a land far, far away. Where there's no night, there's only day. Look into the book of life and you will see that there's a land far, far away. Rasputin! That there's a land far, far away. Speak lion. Speak lion. Roar lion. Roar every time.
I will never stop, hail the Most High, and I will never stop, call Rastafari. Blessed love, this is Kushite representing for the Lion's Voice. We are here to tell our own story, Rastafari.
Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, ya. Them fully guard up and them quick fi execute, ya. Now drop your guard when it come to them, ya youth, ya. The one will laugh, I'm same one of the shooter. Watching them, this is Rasta Jai representing for the Lion Voice Network. This is the time when the lion gets to tell our own story. Haile Selassie.
What are you waiting for? Come together, calling from near and far. Know who you are. What are you waiting for? Rally up, it's Exodus. What are you waiting for? Ancestors paved the way for us. Yes, I am Ketis Oyonde, asking, what are you waiting for to come together? The time has come for the lions to tell our own story. This is the Lion's Voice.
Yes, people, this is Michael Shemaya representing. I say, Hail the Lion Voice, saying it is time for the lions and the lionesses to tell their own story. King David killed Goliath with a stone, we original trade.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice. Them could never conquer the mountains. Thousands of years and counting. Ethiopia rise again unto the world. Now we are announcing. Them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. When the trumpet sound and the violence cease, how we say one go build up the cities. Well, them a plan for war, we a plan for peace. And now we see them wanna go dismantle the base. Rastafari crown as the Prince of Peace. Him tell the youths them fi build up them countries. Well, for unto us a son was born and a child was given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called the Wonderful Counselor, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Them call him Rastafari. When he was born, rain fall from sky. Them call him Rastafari. When he was grown in airplanes he fly. They call him Rastafari. Lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. Them call him Rastafari. Read the Revelation chapter 5 verse 5. Then born near the city of Harar, the inspiration from Bob Marley's guitar. People crowd him like some big superstar. It no matter if England or Cote d'Ivoire, no matter if you're brown or black like Qatar. Haile Selassie say fi end all tribal war. A time fi gather Mount Zion, fi drive solar car from the car straight to Zanzibar. Who we are, the sons of Rastafari. When he was born, rain fall from the sky. Rastafari. When he was grown in airplanes he fly. Rastafari. The lion break the chain, weep not, don't cry. This stuff alright, we do everything.
iRoots Records, an online shop for reggae and dub vinyl, CDs and Rastafari books. Rastafari owned and operated for over 15 years. We ship worldwide. We have many titles from frontline publications in stock. We have 50 plus Akabeka Midnight titles, which we believe is the most of any shop in the world. Special invite for the Lion Pride. Use code Lion's Voice and save 10% store-wide. If you spend $125 or more, the discount goes up to 15%. Visit us online at www.irootsrecords.com. The time has come.
Orlando, Central Florida, are you ready? The African Culture School Incorporated and Heights of Life Music proudly presents the 4th annual Marcus Garvey Music Fest, Saturday, August 15th at Ras State in Claremont, Florida, featuring Lutan Fire, backed by Rhythm Rebel Band. Also performing live, Andy Heights, Ainike, Esau, One Journey, Javerse, Royal Chanter, Asafa Widimaya, and many more incredible artists. Vibes provided by Unity Sound, Rastek, Royal Ethiopian Sound, Jawise, and Blackfoot Movements. Hosted by Davini, but it's more than just music. Enjoy Community Entrepreneur Awards, Organic Seed Exchange, live art installation and auction, back to school giveaways, free health screenings. Come celebrate the legacy and vision of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Saturday, August 15th, sponsored by Branding 101, One Trust Home Loans, and Cypress Cove Marina and Resort.
In the haunting echoes of violence against women in St. Anne, Jamaica, a mysterious vigilante emerges. For the woman painted purple unfurls a gripping narrative of empowerment, retribution, and the pursuit of justice. Brenda and her group sisters bond together in therapy over their common struggles, but soon their group becomes the subject of an investigation. As the vigilante's actions escalate, the relentless detective, Officer Woodley, races to unmask the mystifying figure. For the woman painted purple is a pulse-pounding tale that explores the boundaries of justice, revenge, and the fighting spirit. This thrilling saga delves into the complexities of dealing with mental health, domestic abuse, and finding love after. Own your copy today. Visit www.devonigreen.com.
This is The Black Heart Man, Rastafari children's picture book with hand-painted illustrations and rhythmic storytelling. This is a journey you do not want to miss. We offer worldwide shipping, so order your copy today at www.degreaspaintbrush.com. Alternatively, you can order your copy from TikTok. If you are interested in stocking the book, please email us at degreaspaintbrush@gmail.com. Give thanks.
Jamaica to Toronto. The Rastafest movement rises again. This August 15 and 16, Rastafest 2026 returns to Little Jamaica in Toronto with reggae music, Rastafari culture, Ital food, arts, reasoning, and unity. But this year, it's more than a festival. Rastafest is partnering with the Rastafari Mansions and organizations to support the Relief, Rebuild, Rise initiative, helping Rastafari families and communities rebuild, resist the risk of disasters, and rise to their true potential. This is culture with a cause. Full joy the music, support the mission. Donate to the Relief, Rebuild, Rise GoFundMe through the link in the RMO Jamaica Instagram profile. Rastafari.
Save the date. Join us on Sunday, August 9th, 2026 at 5 p.m. for the 25th annual fundraiser for the Shashamane Foundation at the Silver Spring Civic Center, Great Buffalo Hall in Silver Spring, Maryland. Come be a part of an evening that helps transform lives by supporting quality education and sustainable development at the JRDC School in Shashamane, Ethiopia. Your presence and generosity help empower children, strengthen communities, and build a brighter future. Can't attend? You can still make a difference by donating at shashamane.org or by scanning the event QR code. Mark your calendar, bring your family and friends, and let's build a lasting legacy together. We'll see you there. Rastafari TV and Site Media are proud sponsors of the Shashamani Foundation.